as though I have conquered death. I live death every day. I am surrounded by it, smothered by it. Look at you now. He would have everlasting life. You seek to defy death, yet you cannot even defy sleep. And how alike sleep is to death. It is a painted death.
I remember childhood without any friends. Just me and my imagination. So I made up my own friend. Crim's my best bud. I don't know what I'd do without him. But there's some things we should keep locked away. Not the imaginary friends, but the imaginary fiends. Crim, where are you?
You think you are free, that your decisions are your own. Tell me honestly, did you really choose this path? Or was it chosen for you? Your father, with every triumph, every failure, was it not his decisions that brought you here? Has his path not sealed your own? Marked out in golden bricks below your very feet. The path is set. Keep your head up. Keep your weapon loaded. Follow the battle brick road.
What is up, kids? Welcome to SHANTH ENJETI Art. I myself am SHANTH ENJETI, and thank you for joining me on this fine evening or morning, depending on where you are. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got a bunch of different stuff going on. One of the things going on today is me working on this painting right here. Let me see if I can adjust that, get a little less glare on it. Although, as you know, with traditional, it's always going to be a little tricky to do so. So let me just zoom that out just a bit. There you go. And let's see who we got here in the chat. We've got 14 people watching. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and say hello, everybody. So let us see. First, we've got channel member Jeremy Burt's in the house. I tip my cap to you, Jeremy Burt's. We've got Finatra in the house. Finn, how you doing, my friend? I hope you are doing very well. Let's see who else. We've got the groomsmen. You got to wake up, man. You're on the west coast. I'm on the east coast. We got Mrs. Good Stuff. I doff my cap to you, my lady. I doff my cap as always. Has to be done. Let's see who else we've got here. We have got Blackjack. Hail CG. Indeed, hail CG. We have got Julie Pascal. Hello, Julie Pascal. Going to bed. I understand. Sleep well, my friend. Sleep well. We've got John in the house. John, it is great to see you. I hope you are doing great today. Let's see. We have got Haldir 6480. It is good to see you, my friend. I hope you are doing well. Let's see who else I could have missed here. General Piggy with a member chat for 10 months. Congratulations, General Piggy. How is Nosfero coming along? I am waiting for the proof from the printer who is doing the book. We have got trading cards sitting right here. We have got the bookmark, I think, is on its way. It's shipped. I've already proved the proof. So, gosh, I want to say in the next couple of weeks, depending on how long it takes them to print, I should have, well, depending on whether I approve the proof or not. But as soon as that proof is approved, we're ready to rock. But we're going to have everything. Everything's underway. So it's just time to rock and roll now. And that is what's so great, man. Yeah, please do hit the like. Got a couple of things to wrap up. I'll be listening. Understood, John. Be right back. All right, guys. So let's talk a little bit about painting. And I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. First of all, I've got to talk about my brother's campaign, Battle Brick Road 2, guys. If you have not backed it yet, please go and back it. There was a little mathematical thing that went on with the site double counting thing. So we're below 20K where we want to be, and I want us to hit that point. So if you've not backed it yet, please go and back Battle Brick Road 2. It's going to be a great book. I love everything about it. I've got the record. I've got the poster book. I've got the comic book, and I cannot wait to get all of that stuff into my hands. And I think you guys are going to love it. It's one of the best properties in CG. So, yeah, make sure you do not miss out on it. Today, I'm wrapping up because after I wrapped up Nosfero, speak of the devil, or the angel in the case of Laurel in Nosfero and Nosfero himself. When I finished up that book, I was so burnt out from painting and hunching over the drawing board. Every time I thought about doing so, it gave me a headache. And what I realized was that I had grabbed the wrong prescription of glasses. And I was straining the hell out of my eyes like you do when your prescription is just off and you don't know it. And I finally ordered the correct prescription glasses, and it just has been so much better. So one of those frustrating things that happens if you wear glasses and you do fine, detailed work, it was just a disaster. And so I've been wanting to get back to work on of course, Michael's piece for the Lucent 2 Painted Death. That link is in the description to his website. I think it is still available to buy. And make sure you do. And then I think there's a Kickstarter campaign. I'm not sure where it's going next. It's going to go to one of the crowdfunding sites. I think it might go to all of the funding sites. But yes, check that book out. And then, of course, Razor Fist book, which you can no longer get, which is The Ghost of the Badlands. This commission I've been working on, and it's just those headaches, man. Every time I tried to, because I have to get somewhat close to make this stuff work every time. Yeah, Battle Brick Road is at 18,277, and I am so excited for that book, man, on his own website, guys. So it is doing fantastic. But so yeah, so I cannot wait to get the proof for Nosferatu, to put it simply. Cannot wait to get the proof. This printer that I've now used for, this will be the third book I do with them, the third crowdfunded book. They wrote me back. They had notes for me on certain things color-wise. And I've done a bunch of books with them, and they just know their stuff. And they are expensive, by God, to use. But, my mentality when it comes to illustration and contract work is I knew this book was going to take a while. And there's an old sort of adage in doing this work, which is fast, good, and cheap. And you can only pick two. So if somebody's fast and cheap, they aren't going to be good. If somebody's like, that's the old adage for contract work. And in my case, I knew that doing a painted book was going to be a massive undertaking, and I knew it would take a while. So I was set the price at $25 and knew what the print quality was going to be. And I can tell you guys that if you could see the check that I wrote to my printer for just printing and shipping the books to me, not even shipping them out, you would know what an investment it is. But I promised you guys, my family promised you guys, not my kids, they're not yet old enough, about to be, to sign a legally binding contract. However, my wife and I promised you guys that this was going to be a breathtaking art book, and we mean to deliver. And the book is going to be great. And the next time it comes out, it'll be much faster to get. But it's going to be good and fast, and it's not going to be cheap. So that's how it works. Laugh out loud, Sean. Time for you to invest in those hobby magnifiers. I'm serious. The detail I'm doing, you're absolutely right. They came with lights too. I know, I need that. What will be the overage print? What will be the overage print prices be? I have no idea what you're asking me there. I'm sorry. My literacy may be at an all-time low. See if you can clean that question up for me, and I'll see if I can actually answer it for you. Yeah, it's gonna be, it's a serious investment. It's a serious investment per book. Yeah, let me rephrase. Gotcha. Nosferatu is closed now, but you can still drool out of here. Yeah, that's right. Well, it's funny, at this hour, I could be reading it wrong too, John, knowing me. So I wanted to talk to you guys, and I'm never going to really get into a movie review kind of thing. And although I really am considering doing a rant for this, but I figured I'd try to get some of it out of my system now. I actually kept my wife up ranting about this the other day. But holy crap, The Last Voyage of the Demeter was everything I feared it would be from that trailer, and then astoundingly somehow worse. And it was just woke trash. And it actually made me angry because it had absolutely nothing to do with the story of Dracula. Nothing to do with the story of Dracula. Yeah, let me rephrase. I can translate. John says you're fat. John is right. Broken Compass Entertainment, Late Night Man. Miss you, Sean. It's been a spell. Hail chat. Hail to you, Broken Compass Entertainment. Sorry, not comics. Broken Compass Entertainment. Your print run will have overage prints, which will be sold later. What will the price point be? Oh, wow. For first printings? Shoot. My God. Do you remember what my art books were for the first printings? I would say, wow, that's a really good question. I haven't priced it yet. If I had to just say something on the fly, I'd say $75, maybe 100. You want that first printing? Otherwise, second printing's there. But that's a first printing thing. So that's what it is. But the main thing is to make sure I cover and get the best copies I can possibly get to you backers. That's like the first thing I'm thinking about. I'm not even thinking about that yet, but yeah. Oh, I charge a lot for first printings if you get to them, after the fact, because the folks, it's the craziest thing in the world, but to me, it makes sense. It's cheap for people who are buying, or should say not buying, who are backing this book and paintbrushes and stuff. You guys, it's not like we were swimming in cash during this whole time, or that we are now, but you guys made it not horrific for us to be doing this. Do you guys get what I mean? And that's just how I see it. Yeah, we changed it to entertainment. Everyone still slips and says comics. Understood. But yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, told you people are going to be pissed they missed it. Yeah, because guys, it says first printing in the inside cover. It's going to say second printing in the second cover. If people don't care to have a first printing of it, they'll be able to get it at a still more expensive price than $25. I mean, I would put it this way, man. What I suspected it would be crap. A Black Doctor in the 1800s. There were 22 in the world. So disappointing. I'm going to get to that because that actually really pissed me off on a number of levels. But let's also talk about the fact, Antoine, that it was an American playing a British doctor. Like, it's so bad considering the history of Cambridge and their graduates. I had to research it to make sure I wasn't just reacting to it, like just on the sense of it looked so like, okay, well, let's completely change the story and then claim it's faithful. But dude, there's so much wrong with that movie. It's beautiful. It's almost sublime. Eric Huffles, how are you doing? It's great to see you, my friend. I hope you're having a great one. Yeah, I mean, I can't even get started on it. Comics Legends, great to see you. I think a second chance campaign is in order. Yeah, there will definitely be a second chance campaign, and it will still be more expensive than $25 because the I don't want to think about the shipping aspect of it yet, and all of that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you the prices. Let's just say it's a lot. It's a lot. The ratio. I just got over there the Heather Swain action figure by Ethan, and if you know quality action figures, I've got CYBERFROG and I've got the Heather Swain. There's no way there was a huge profit margin on those figures. It's not possible. When you look at things of a certain quality, and when you guys get this book, you're going to know there's no way there was a massive profit. There was barely a profit margin on this thing. So you guys know, not to mention the time, man. Maromi, what's up, my friend? It is great to see you. But that's what we did, man. That's what we did. It's like, and yes, Holy Hand Grenades. Yes, indeed. It's great to see you, my friend. Let's see here. Aldion, I always struggle with pronouncing that. Okay, yeah, I'm going to talk about this in a second, guys. It's going to be a little bit of a rant, but here's how it goes. Actually, it's going to be a bit of a rant. So, I heard that they were doing a movie that sounded like one of the best premise for a movie I've probably heard in a while for a Dracula film. And of course, it was what it was. But it was called The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and it was taking place on a very short chapter where there's a Russian crew who is transporting Dracula to London, and he's basically taking them out one by one. And they eventually the ship is just like the captain tied to the freaking wheel. Everybody's dead. He's dead. And it pulls into port, and that's Dracula basically, coming there. So it's like they thought they put it like it's like Alien or Aliens, and actually like Alien. The first Alien movie was how they kind of, would pitch it to the general audience. But to everyone else, they said, it's this historic look at Dracula and this part of the chapter that no one's ever seen brought to life. It had nothing to do with Dracula. Nothing. For starters, let's start with the basics of the lore. It was very important to Bram Stoker, and this is such a Hollywood contemporary, cynical, anti, and I mean anti in the sense of it's so tired and played. It's not like I was offended, but the whole anti-mocking of Christianity, right? In Bram Stoker's Dracula, the cross has an impact on Dracula. It's an essential part of the mythos, of the lore, the cross. That translates into Hammer horror movies. That translates into Universal monster movies. It's a big part of it. Now, in more modern films, right? It's not like I'm critiquing Twilight on this level or Blade, where Blade's like crosses and holy water don't do squat. You know, like that's great. That's fine. This, yeah, F.W. Murnau is rolling in his grave, which gets me to the next part. The other thing is Dracula cannot be killed by sunlight in Bram Stoker's original novel. That's a Nosferatu invention. And they violated all of those things. The cross thing they did twice. People tried to use it and it wouldn't work. So it was so a Nosferatu, you know, like it was more Nosferatu than it was, but Nosferatu could still, I believe, be affected by cross, but I'm not positive. Because, yeah, I mean, it was such a weird, strange, whatever of it. But this is the thing that really gets me, man. This is the thing that really gets me. The design of the vampire was even ridiculous. It's like, they gave him teeth that looked like a Venus flytrap mouth. And it's like, we're out of ideas. Just put a shit ton of fangs in his mouth. And it was so irritating, man, to see some of the choices they made. And we're going to get into the other stuff. But that was really irritating. So when I first saw the trailer, they pitch it, and within 5 seconds, I'm watching the trailer. And all of a sudden, they show a character who is black. And I'm like, okay. Not impossible, but they're clearly making massive changes to the story, but it's not necessarily woke. That, like, it's such a bizarre thing, but I gotta be honest, after all of my experience with this stuff, I now, if I see a fucking Indian in a movie, I'm like, this looks kind of woke. I mean, that's where they've put me, man. It's so freaking disturbing. And I go, but then he goes, I'm a doctor, or I'm a physician, and I graduated from Cambridge. And I went, okay. What is this, a Doctor Who episode? Did he go back in time? I'm like going, I am pretty damn sure that this is such a rare scenario, if it was possible, and it wasn't from Cambridge. If it was such a rare thing, what the fuck is he doing on this ship? You know, having to hitch a ride. Like, this would be a big fucking deal. He would be at work. It was so absolutely bizarre. Like, and this is the thing. You get to make one ask. Dracula is your ask. If you were making a movie, this guy would be the star because he would be the phenomenal thing that's there. So here's the thing that got me is one of the first black graduates from Cambridge during this time. And you're starting to fuck with history when you start inventing people, breaking historical barriers. That's a little fucked up to me. But anyway, so what he ends up doing is there was a graduate from Cambridge who I think was a divinity student, but I'm not sure, who was a minister, which, again, you're still treading all over some history in a very weird way. But I think that when I was seeing it, it broke the credibility of it. But if you think that's bad, here's the bigger issue of it. He was an American doing a British accent, and he seemed utterly contemporary. It seemed like an utterly contemporary character. Then you add two more characters not described in the book, which is a child and a woman who is, oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. I'm so tired. I can't believe I can't get this. Romanian, I think, but I'm not positive. So here's the thing about it, though, that really gets me, blew my mind about it. So, of course, you're watching this flick, and there are so many things that are ridiculous. Like, these guys are trying to save this kid from Dracula being in a room. By the way, I would say spoiler alert, but you can't spoil rotten meat. And this movie is rotten meat. And they're trying to get through the door to get to this kid. And all of a sudden, the female character is like behind him, goes, stand aside. And she's got a rifle, and she like shoots the lock because, you know, they wouldn't think to use a rifle to get in the door. It was so modern. It was painful. At some point, of course, another thing drives me crazy with what they do anytime you've got a black male character in a movie. He's like, I'm not really about firearms. And she's got this rifle. And she's like, shh, shh. It was like Sigourney Weaver in Aliens, but back in Dracula's time. But that's not the half of it, guys. It's so much worse. You have no idea how bad it is. What's up, Mighty Geek Studios? It's great to see you. Yeah. Willem Dafoe in Shadow of the Vampire. Love that movie as the Count back in 2000. And now in the new Nosferatu is a different character. Yeah, I hope it's not woke. I hope he doesn't do to Nosferatu what he did to the Northman and what he did to that story, which was he completely made that woke as well. Sucks. Absolutely sucks. But this is the thing that's crazy, man. You know, in an age where everything is doing things digital, Shanth brings, thank you, sitting to the table with his work, actual painting. It's like the difference between buying organic and GMO. Well, you know, we're not going to get into I appreciate the compliment, but we're not going to get into my diet because I am pretty much just GMO. But thank you so much. Yes, organic art. But this is the thing that bothers me about it. At the end of the movie, you can't make this up. It's so embarrassing. Of course, the doctor character from Cambridge, who would be more noteworthy, in my opinion, historically than that novel would be. Because I actually went to the Cambridge website. I started looking at the history because I'm like going, man, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know something. And there's some cool basis for this. Because I've already got to take Dracula as a leap of faith. You get only one or two asks of your audience. And I was hoping they would just, you know, not turn it into a cartoon. But at the end, he survives. Of course, right? So the tragedy of the Demeter and that whole great story is completely wrecked because you have a survivor of the ship who, strangely, much like Jack in Titanic, it was like that level of inserting a character into it. He's not on any registers because it was horrendous. But he's in a bar and he's writing his journal about it. And then it's like suddenly you realize that a Nosferatu looking in a suit Dracula is like walking into this pub that he's in. And he's walking into this pub and he's like, I will dedicate my life to hunting down Dracula. And I'm like, is this fucking Blade? Are you trying to actually... You are so far off the Bram Stoker's Dracula reservation. Why did you even make a movie called The Last Voyage of the Demeter? Has nothing to do with Dracula. None of the things about the character of the vampire are the same. Crosses don't work. Sunlight kills them. Two things that weren't in Dracula. The Russian crew, which I already had to accept, would be speaking with British accents, right? Which was already difficult. Now there's a dog. There's a kid. There's a woman, and there's this, the first black doctor to graduate undergrad from Cambridge in the late 1800s that is fictionalized. And the whole dramatic thrust of the story is going to have to be focused on this character, not on Dracula. Oh, God, and they had the classic racist crewman. And I'm like, what the... oh, God, it was so tired. It was so played. It kills me, man. The thing which bothers you about it, there is only one. Yeah, that's right. No respect. Yes, no respect for what has come before. Yeah, they don't respect it, man. And that was the thing that really, it left me angry. Yeah, just make a vampire, just make vampire ship instead of ignoring the original story. That was 100% what it is. And here's the crazy thing too. This is going to sound like a very bizarre kind of way of putting it. People would say, well, if you can accept Dracula in a movie, why can't you accept this physician or this gun-toting lady who knows more about guns than this seemingly everyone on the ship? Why can't you accept it? I could accept it if you gave me a movie star. And even then, it's going to be tough. I mean, just look at Will Smith in Wild Wild West. You know what I mean? It's like, he's a movie star, and even that movie struggled. So you can do things. But I mean, shit, if you put Denzel Washington in this movie, I mean, yeah, sure. But I don't know who this guy is. He wasn't great. He wasn't a star. So the star had to be the believability of the setting. And it just wasn't there. Or it had to be Dracula. But it was weird, man. It was a weird movie. Such a missed opportunity, man. Such a missed opportunity. You know? Because it's like, we've got movies like Blade out there. I mean, I know it didn't exist, you know, when Black Panther came out. But we've got movies like Blade. Shit, we've got the Underworld movies. We've got Twilight. We've got all these things. You don't have to go to the past. But if you do, take me somewhere. Don't take me to where I am now. It was so intrusively modern. It was excruciating. And I really wanted to go and see what we would do with these stories back then. You know? Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Wild Wild West was like, but that was another one. Like, why did we make this movie? This director also worked on I know Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which I skipped as well. There seems to be a missing understanding of narrative there. Do you know what I mean? Because you felt how modern it was. It really seems like a missed opportunity. They had a great title, exactly what seems to be a great premise. They did. Wasn't it Denzel's son? Was it Denzel's son? Get the fuck out of here. Now I got to look that up. Now I'm mad. He did that to Denzel's son. Oh, Washington. All right, I got to look this up. This is pissing me off. Now you've got me going. What the fuck? No, it was not Denzel Washington's son that I'm aware of. If it was, I'd lose. I would be terrified. No, it wasn't. Thank you. No, it wasn't Denzel's son. Yeah, he was in Tenet and will be in The Creator. Yes, and that movie looks fucking great. I showed that to my son because I was trying to explain to him woke art decisions and how disastrous they are. And I showed him The Last Voyage of the Demeter. And I said, first of all, I don't even know what this movie's take on anything is. And then I showed him The Creator. And I said, which one of these do you want to see? The Creator looks unbelievably good. And not 1 minute did I go, that's odd. Not one. I mean, the robots were pretty crazy. I was just like, this is great. This is transporting me into a film. Don't you think that's what movies should do? Don't you think? They've got Dracula. That's like being on third base and you can't steal home. The fuck? Sorry, it really got me, man. It really got me. Yes, hail Richie Cyberdupe. It's good to see you, my friend. Yes, indeed. Comicsgate. Yeah, loving bananas to all. And bananas to all. Let's see here. We've got American Comics Company. You're always in good company when American Comics Company's in the chat. That's what I always say. But this is the thing about it, guys. You need competent directors. You've got a movie like why am I blanking on this? Oppenheimer. That's a pretty bleak subject matter and a pretty intense subject. And yet it's doing well because it's entertaining and interesting. Regardless of what people think about the Barbie movie, I have no interest in seeing it personally. I don't give a shit about it. It did its job, which was to make money. The Last Voyage of the Demeter, if it wasn't going to have a star cast, it deserved so much better. The premise was so good. It could have been a great movie. And it was a low-budget movie that felt cheap in a big-budget way. The effects felt cheap. And certainly, it really looked like a BBC woke miniseries. It was rough, man. Yeah, Barbie's not for me. Yeah, but respect, if Ethan loves it, respect to him, I say. Eric Huffles, yes, Wraith of God 2, Blood Hunters by Aaron Lepresti. Speaking of Nosferatu, you're absolutely right. I feel white privilege every day that I woke up. Same here, without a doubt. Let's see here. Shot the Sun. There are failed artists in this world who will try anything to be relevant. Yeah. Well, what I basically said to him is, I said, this is the problem. Tammy D in the house. Tammy, it's so great to see you. Well, I'm not the only insomniac. Oh, my insomnia has been horrific lately. Channel member Tammy D, it's great to see you. Mighty Geek Studios Dracula was considered the first vampire. Yep. And even though, it came after Carmilla, which a friend of mine did a review of, and we've talked about, The Choice Voice. He's the best movie ranter you're going to find. That short story, which had a lot of a really dark, and then there's another vampire book that was also great that I read that was just terrifying. And I can't remember what it was called, but it was this one about this vampire tells him, you can't tell anyone my secret for 1 year or something. It was all messed up. It was really great. What is up, Bretsky the Great? It's great to see you. I'm Cotton Hill. Pity man. Hey, Razor Fist Ghost. Good subject. Yeah, absolutely, man. This is going to be in the hardcover edition of the book. Razor Fist commissioned me to paint this piece, and I got I had a problem with my glasses that I didn't know, and I struggled, man, with it. So gutsy. Good to see you too, Shanth, in chat. Yes, good to see you. I was like, gutsy. I can't read for shit. But it's one of those characters that Razor Fist is a kindred spirit in terms of our love of pulp, and I just find him fucking hilarious. I could watch his BioShock stream he did where they're playing BioShock and talking about the inaccuracies and how it presents Ayn Rand's ideas, but also just how fun he is and how he acknowledges what a great game it is in terms of visually how it holds up. But this is the thing, right? When you're watching this sort of stuff, I want to be entertained. I don't care what somebody thinks behind their project. I just want to be entertained. And when I was watching that film, it really was out of love for the subject that, like, I'm not adverse to them doing a Nosferatu story and calling it, my taste in music lines up pretty close. Yeah, well, I was thinking about whenever he talks about Stryper, how I used to listen to In God We Trust with my friend Zach when we were growing up in Tennessee. But it's, yeah, he's very incisive, appreciate him. Yeah, and he does the best takedowns of socialism and communism you're going to find. But this is the thing. When you're talking about subject like Nosferatu or something like that, right? To me, it's a movie that legally has no right to exist, but also is so good it has no right to exist, and it captures it perfectly. And I just sit there and I go, why make this if you don't care about the subject? I mean, it's so crazy. It's like you wanted to tell a story about a doctor who, I guess, didn't believe in guns because that would be a problem. You needed to tell a story about, not Dracula, and you needed to. It's like, pick one of those you want to do. If you want to do Nosferatu, go full tilt. If you want to do, any of this stuff, go full tilt. But don't give me a modern movie where modern characters are dropped into a past sequence and expect me to feel any fear for anything. And if someone had told me the end of that movie, if somebody told me, "What is up, Jeremy, my brother? It's great to see you, man." Much love to you, Jeremy, my brother from New England, who I made sure had a special little thanks at the end of Nosferatu, because he was one of the first people in our space to really push for this book. But back to my hatred of The Last Voyage of the Demeter. This is the thing. When you have a responsibility to the stories you inherit when you're retelling them, okay? You have a responsibility to the stories. And it's whether it's Tolkien, whether it's speaking of, the Song of Ice and Fire, when you're adapting these things, it's not your story. And I find it so disrespectful what people are like when I hear the person talking about Snow White or people talking about all of these things or Disney's legacy and all this stuff. I'm like, you're making money. You're being paid by this person's creativity. And the least you could do is just have a little bit of respect for the man. And they can't freaking do it. And it just drives me so nuts. And we have not had a good Dracula movie in so long. And something that is either a popcorn fun flick, or, which, by the way, if they had gone that direction, go all out. Go all out and market it as such. Say, this is a modern take. It's not going to have anything to do with the novel. We're just going full tilt. But this is what really happened. I mean, it'd be obnoxious, but at least it would be true to what it is. By the time you get to the end of this story and they're setting up a sequel where this character is a vampire hunter, I was just laughing at it. I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. That's right. Yeah, much love. I can't wait to read Nosferatu. Let me tell you something, brother. I got approved from a printer that I decided not to go with. They worked really hard. They were terrific. I don't want to spoil it for you. They were really terrific to me, but I did get a proof, but it was because I've been working, guys, and they were really nice people. They were really great, but it is very hard to reproduce the colors of my work. It's very tough, and it is, and I'm going to be a hard pain in the ass on this freaking, I'm going to be really tough, and it'll boost the color so it'll look different when you guys see it on camera. But it's like, it needs to be perfect because people have been waiting, and perfect is not unattainable, but it's, I really need someone who understands my paintings and worked with me for a while. These guys worked hard. They did a great job. I wanted to give them a shot on this, and I really was legit considering having them do the book if it worked out. But it's my first Comicsgate book, and at the very least, I want to make sure it's on point with my first 2 art books. I may very well use them for something. Yeah, tease. Guys, I have not stopped working. I've never worked this hard. That's not true. I always fucking work hard. I can't even stand even saying that makes me feel like, ugh. Yeah, I'm working so hard all the fucking time, guys. That's how I do it. But I've never done as much work for anything as I did in terms of painted work for Nosfero. There's a reason why people don't do fully painted comics. It's because they're sane and they don't hate themselves. One of the better iterations of Dracula I've seen in the last few years was surprising. The Netflix miniseries, was that the one done by the BBC? It was okay. It didn't blow my skirt up, but I got to be honest, man, that's the kind of shit I would love to talk with you about, because again, I feel like there's room for a discussion with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it didn't blow me away, but it's like, if you say, hey, man, I like it, I'm like, oh, fuck, I want to hear what your thoughts are on it. Do you know what I mean? But if you liked The Last Voyage of the Demeter, I'd be like, I guess we can't be friends anymore. Oh, man. No one likes to tease. That's right. That's right. The only person working harder than Shanth is his plastic surgeon. Yeah. No, dude, you want to hear a great story? So way back, when the first Mission Impossible movie came out, and I was like, oh, that is so badass. I went to a barber in my hometown of Chattanooga, Tennessee. And I said, hey, man, can you make me look like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible? Look me straight in the face. He goes, hey, man, I'm not a plastic surgeon. I just love that shit, man. That dude was awesome. Oh, man, now I'm going. What's up, Def Legal? How are you doing, my friend, man? My goblin buddy. It's great to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. I think Shanth is planning a trip. I can see bags under his eyes. Yeah, let me tell you something. My bags are packed. That is for sure, man. What's up? Everybody's saying hello, hello. Yeah, man. Yeah, I just love, that's the shit I love about, like, just hanging out in barbershops and talking to people, you know? My barber up here actually has 2 of my paintings that I've given him in his barbershop, because you guys know me. You know what I'm like. It's like, he was a big fan of Wolverine in the yellow suit, so I did him a watercolor drawing of Wolverine in the yellow suit. And then he recommended this movie to me called The Missing, with Tommy Lee Jones and Cate Blanchett. And I did a portrait of Tommy Lee Jones because he had recommended that Western to me. I gave him that painting, and he keeps it in his barbershop. So, yeah, go to his barbershop. You can see both of those up on the wall. You know how I am, man. You can't take you can't take my southernness out of me, man. Yeah, hey, Dan. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Dan, are you doing all right? Let us know, baby. Yeah, everybody saying hello. Yeah, Goblin Girl, guys, go and get it. I know I backed it. I better have backed it. Dan, do me a favor, because I have gotten this Comicsgate disease. I know a lot of you guys may have caught it, which is I swore I backed that disease. So, yeah, Dan, if you see I haven't backed Goblin Girl, which I am pretty damn sure I have, but if you ever notice that, please let me know so I can make sure I backed it. I'm almost positive I did, man. Yeah, then why do you wear a hat so much? Yeah, I don't know, man. Well, here's the thing about it, right? So today, I cut my hair. So I cut my own hair, cut my son's hair, because something I started learning how to do in college. And I just like to buzz the living hell out of it. Yeah, it's craziness, because it's like I'm here. Like I tell my wife, it's like, save money, cut your own hair. Doing a fade is hard with mirrors, man, but I got pretty good hand control. I'm pretty good. I'm painting right now myself. Cool. Working on board game minis. Oh, sweet. Listen, Dan. Can I call you Dan? Listen, Dan. I can't paint minis for beans, but I'm thinking about it, because I just found, I do have to go through my Indiegogo. I can't do it right now, but I will, because I want to make sure I know I did, because we did the closeout stream on this channel, man. So I know I backed it. But I just have that sort of fear sometimes. But I just got some of the most killer minis ever for this game by this company you guys may know called, it's like, Come On, I think, CMON. And they did a Death May Die Lovecraft game. And these are the miniatures for the Dunwich Horror, which is my favorite Lovecraft story. And so they did one of this one and Wilbur Whateley, who's a big influence on some of my character stuff. So I got these, but I'm not good at painting minis, man. It's like people who do that really well are so good, man. I wish I could do it better. You have to go through the contributions list. Got it. He wears a hat because Comicsgate is a hat group. That's right. Oh, I'll take a look at my backings and I'll let you know. Thank you, brother. Don't worry if it's like a thing. I can always check mine, you know. Cool mini or not. Yes, there you go. Yeah. Love miniatures. I do too. Oh, you have these Broken Compass Entertainment. Yeah, they're so, dude. I love Lovecraft and I love the Cthulhu mythos. That's the shit I'm really into. So when I'm working on this piece for Razor Fist, one of the things I felt was kind of missing on it. Let's see if I can get the angle right so you can start to see the color. But it needed some kind of blue-green values washed in with the oranges for this kind of very romantic, sort of dramatic scene right here. And I just felt like it. Yeah. These guys, man, they're great, man. They're absolutely great. But I really wanted to get just the kind of haunting, ghostly sort of quality of it. And that was the biggest thing that I was going for, man. One of these days when Shanth isn't crazy busy, I need to get a watercolor piece of his interpretation of the others. Damn. Yeah. Dude, I've got to check that show out. Like, see, this is the thing, man. I always like listening to Jeremy, and he's like, when he's talking about different shit, and it's like, I feel like the rest of the internet's finally catching on to what everybody in Comicsgate already knew. And it's so cool. But you were telling me I got to check that out, you know, and I really do want to check it out because that's the zone I'm in. Like, you're one of those folks, man, where it's like, hey, man, I know this place where you should get a burger. I'm going to go check it out because I think you have good taste, you know, and it's like, it's the same thing with TV and movies. You were into the Song of Ice and Fire, like way before it blew up, man. And you know that world so well. And it's the same thing with your taste in horror, you know, and I want you guys to know something. This is the plan. The first copy of Nosferatu, I've had this plan for a while, but the first copy of Nosferatu that gets delivered, I'm going to bring a copy of Nosferatu and leave it at H.P. Lovecraft's grave here in Rhode Island, in Providence. It's 30 minutes from my house. I'll probably do a little video about it so you guys can sort of see it. But I've never been to H.P. Lovecraft's grave before. I've been all over these different sites. So my first trip to H.P. Lovecraft's grave, where he's buried in Swamp Point Cemetery, is going to be to deliver a copy of Nosferatu out of respect, man. So I'm looking forward to it, man. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. Yeah, Sean, just FYI, Dan, my goblin brother, does not sound right. Oh, he doesn't sound right. Okay, fair enough. Let's see here. Yeah, Dan, my goblin brother, doesn't sound right. I gotcha. Let's see here. What Westerns, if any, do you get inspiration for this piece? Some of the ones that Razor Fist listed were his inspiration, but I would say definitely Pale Rider. Without a doubt, Pale Rider. Also, oh my God, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Shoot. I've got the Blu-ray right here or somewhere. Let me just see if I've got it right here. Crap, what one was it? Shoot, hold on. Let me look at my Blu-ray collection because I know I have it here. Pale Rider, all Clint stuff. But shoot, this is gonna piss me off because I can't remember it. Pale Rider and oh man, it's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me. Shoot, but yeah. Oh, and for me, always Once Upon a Time in the West is my favorite Western. I've got a painting of Woody Strode up on the wall, which is how this conversation with Razor Fist started, man. I still haven't visited Lovecraft's grave yet either, and I live in like an hour away. Yeah, we're both so close to it, dude. We got to do it. Yeah, Hail Aetherline, where are you, brother? There you are. It's great to see you, my friend. Yeah, man. I cannot thank you, Broken Compass Entertainment. I cannot wait to get Nos, man. I'm waiting with bated breath. Guys, here's the thing about my stuff, man, and the work I'm doing. First of all, if there wasn't even a story in it, it would be the most beautiful art book, most beautifully printed art book. But the story in it is something that I hope you walk away from. And it's just a straightforward pulp story. There's no fat in this story. It establishes Nosferatu's world. It's self-contained. And when you leave it, I hope you say, that was positive. It was sexy. It was fun. It was dangerous. It was mysterious. But man, I feel good about that story. Heroism, man. Frazetta-ism. That's what it's about. Lovecraft. It's fun shit, man. Oh, let me know when you're going, Shanth. Maybe I'll meet you up there. Oh, totally, man. Are you kidding? That would be a great video. Brother, that would be a great video. Holy cow, yeah. That's right. I'm going to get the graveside meme. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Me and Jeremy Ice and Fire going. That would be outstanding, man. That would be hilarious. Yeah, man. Yes, High Plains Drifter. Thank you. The other supernatural flick, High Plains Drifter. Thank you. That was the one I was looking for because I bought all of them on Blu-ray to watch. And then, of course, I got Razor Fist posed for me for this for the gun in this reference photo. So that is Razor Fist's hand, and that's his gun of the one that his character uses. I figured he owned it. He was kind enough to put on some black gloves like the character, and he owns them, of course, anyway. And pose for me for the photo reference. So yeah, he's a sport, man. I'm trying to do a killer job on this painting for him. I don't know if you saw my post because I went by so quickly, but I'm painting Cthulhu Death May Die right now. Drop me a link and I'll show you some of the stuff I'm working on. So wait a second. Oh, drop you a link to come in here. Dan, are you asking to come in here? Because I'll send you a link in a minute. Let me know. I didn't know what you meant about that. So tell me. Yeah, he always wears those gloves, man. Kill them dead. Oh, the cousin of Nos. That's right. Oh, yeah, totally, man. That sounds awesome. Yeah. Oh, you wanted me to send you. Dan, now I get it. Listen, Dan, I'm old. Okay. And I'm fading. This is so sad. I thought you were saying send me a link to where I got the miniatures from. Holy cow. Really kind of sad. It's sad on every level, Dan. It's sad on every level. Where have I got you? There we are. There's my brother. All right. Let's do this shit. That is hilarious, dude. That is freaking hilarious. And I'm really old, kids. That's what it is. Yeah. Mail-in method. Yeah. Yeah. It's too funny, man. Don't get me started, man. Don't get me started on my craziness. It is what it is, kids. It is what it is. By the way, Battle Brick Road, bro. Battle Brick Road. I'm a Battle Brick bro. If you have not backed it yet, it's the first link in the description. We got to get that to 20K, man. We got to get that to 20K. That is my passion. That is my goal in life. That is my brother. You know, he's such a good dude, man. Such a good dude. Yeah, the YouTube link goofball. Yeah, I know. Guys, Eric, what am I gonna do? You know, I wasn't mom's brightest. I can tell you that. Oh, I painted the entire Resident Evil set. That game is the best. I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Yeah. So let me tell you something, man. I am terrible at it. My good buddy, the one who introduced me to comics and D&D and Ninja Turtles and Grips and Tim Vigil, he used to paint Warhammer miniatures, and he was amazing, man. Just a terrific guy, man. Oh, I got the first Battle Brick Road, and it was awesome. It is awesome. I'm backing part 2, but I need to figure out what is what first. Understood, man. Understood. Right on. Yeah, I saw. I haven't seen miniatures that I was really excited about having until they really did Dunwich Horror, man. It's like, yeah, hobby headset, get them minis done. Yeah, I know. That's probably how I'd have to do it. Skip Edwards, how are you doing, brother? It's so great to see you, man. How have you been? Oh my gosh, yeah, totally. Yeah, I'm telling you what, guys. And make sure you hit the like if you haven't, man, because, oh, man, you guys know I've been trying to wrap up the printing detail stuff of Nosfero. And when you're doing stuff like that and you're not streaming a lot, I'll show you a little secret of mine how I do this stuff. I'm propping up my artboard at an angle by using a kneaded eraser and this box. And what's in the box? What's in this box, you ask? The Nosfero trading cards. I have over 1,000 Nosfero trading cards for each of these cards. So this is the Phantomas trading card. I have 1,000 of these trading cards. And on the back, of course, Nosfero the Cryptwalker. I have 1,000 of these. And I have 1,000 of the Lascivia card. And so let me see if I can get a good angle on this. So I have 1,000 of each of these trading cards. And I've got 1,000 bookmarks coming, I think, either tomorrow or the next day. And they look so freaking good. And I want to make sure the book is the gem of all of this stuff, because trading cards, all of that stuff is all fine and good. I know people do, like their extras, but let's keep it real. It's the book. It's the book. It's the book. It's the book. I just got my CyberFrog and Heather Swain action figures. They are freaking stunning. They're so good. I highly recommend them to anybody. It's like there's a lot of companies killing it right now, but Ethan is hanging in there with like NECA in a lot of those places, man. Oh, hold on a second. Speaking of my brothers, I hope you guys don't mind, but we have a guest here.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, Dan? How you doing,
Dude,
baby?
what's going on? Those cards are freaking gorgeous, man.
Let us talk about these minis that I can't paint, but that you paint. How you been?
One second.
Getting your Lovecraft on.
I realized as I was getting on with you, I forgot to take my chemo tonight.
Listen, Dan, please do not
Sorry.
put that. Do not put that image of. So why didn't Dan take his chemo? It was Shant's fault.
It's not Shant's fault. Shant actually reminded me to take it, so it was a positive.
That's a better story.
So
hashtag Shant. It's evil.
So yeah, dude, I went all in on the Cthulhu Death May Die, man.
So cool looking.
It was the first board game I ever. Oh, no, I take that back. It was the second board game.
I was about to say, I refuse to believe that, Dan.
The first board game I backed was this game called Nemesis, which was kind of like a Aliens ripoff sort of thing, but it's pretty cool. It's like a mission on a spaceship, and they got these alien sort of characters. But anyway, then I saw Cthulhu Death May Die, and I actually found that because there is an amazing painter illustrator guy named Karl Kapinski, who is from England. Phenomenal. He did these drawings of these 1920s Cthulhu type people, and I was like, oh, this stuff's rad. And then I saw in his post that it was from this game called Cthulhu Death May Die, which is on Kickstarter. So I went over there, and that became my second thing I backed, and I went all in. And the only thing I've missed was Simon they're doing comics now. They do like these graphic novel things, and they did a second series of graphic novels, and I missed it. It closed it before I could get them. And each one of the graphic novels, it comes with the comic, like I think it's like 150 pages or something, hardback. Yeah. And then it'll come with a lot of times it'll come with a couple minis, like exclusive minis to that, as well as a campaign mission or whatever, so you get an extra thing. So that's the only thing I'm missing, because I backed their second campaign. But so the first one, they had been sitting around forever, and because I've been sick and like shit's just been weird drawing stuff. It's a lot of, when I do draw, it's either a lot of work or I'm like in that perfect window where my meds are like mellowed out and I'm kind of regular, which is really rare. But
well, you know what the thing is, you can just say you're lazy. You don't have to make up this excuse, Dan.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, you're pulling at everybody's heartstrings. It's a shame that we don't have anybody who could like make or sculpt or create minis in the chat. That sucks, but you know, we can hope for one of these days. You know.
Yeah, I need Goblin Girl statue and minis like real bad. Even action figures would be awesome.
I'm telling you, man.
But
no, so you saw these because I missed it on Kickstarter.
Oh, you did?
And so I kicked my own ass because I would have absolutely backed the giant Thulu level.
He's still available.
I would have sold one of my kids. You know,
isn't he still available? I thought they had him on the Second Chance campaign.
They had a second. No,
they did. They did the season 2 campaign, but I think.
Isn't it closed now, though?
I don't know. But I'm sure they're going to do more of it because it's one of their more popular ones. Especially given the second tier market, like the comics that I missed, people are selling them on eBay. The most expensive one to get is the Cthulhu Death May Die. So that should tell you all you need to know about what's most popular. Besides their obviously their zombie stuff they do, I forget what that stuff's called, but they have all the different versions of zombie things or whatever. But it's just to cut to the chase. So I had these minis sitting around, and I was just like, well, I was like, maybe I could paint minis because it doesn't involve like abstract, like thinking of like taking a composition out of my brain and having to, you know, do the whole thing of like foreshortening and all that stuff. It's just simple. You just kind of put some paint on it and just gently massage it in until it, fades or does what it needs to do. But
Hold on a
so
second,
yeah,
Dan. Let me take my pants off. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. No, no, but no, Dan. I
So,
mean, see,
here I
that
am.
is a gift. That is a there.
I don't know if you can see
talk
the
to
goat.
us, Dan.
but this is the goat. I haven't
Yes.
fully painted him up yet. I just put some basic paint on him so far. Like I got the
Here,
red.
put your hand behind him, just so we can see if we can block the, because sometimes it'll autofocus. Oh, there you go. Oh, dang, son, you got skills. I mean, not that we were doubting that.
No, this one is.
Oh, hold
this
on, wait,
one is-
shit. Hold on. What am I doing? I'm being an idiot. Let me make you big here. Hang on. There we go.
This one's a little bit sloppy.
Fuck, dude, I can't even.
I just
Painting
put
miniatures
some.
is where my brain breaks.
Yeah, I just put some basic paint on this dude. Like this isn't like finished quality. This is like priming him almost. He's
Gotcha.
basically dark with like this burnt burgundy tentacle stuff going on. So I slaps him on, like even on his chest there. It's like there's like the symbology or whatever that's cut into him, and I just slap some red on it because I'm gonna go over it with the skin tone and clean it up. But
Dude,
slappy.
This is some of my favorite adaptation of Lovecraft stuff, to be honest.
Let me switch my camera real quick.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna see my thigh for a second.
That's
people
all right.
love people love my sloppy gams.
Yeah, well, listen, we know these folks are freaks, man. We know it.
Yeah.
There it is.
So there's my sloppy gam.
Pay extra.
So I've been doing these. This is from.
Geez.
This is the first one I did. It's from a board game called Reichbusters. And it's like Nazi super weapon stuff. And then I also had this other one called 1666, which is like a French Revolutionary period thing that's got like werewolves and vampires and the Musketeers in it. And this is the Golem.
Dude.
I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it annoying, the autofocus?
There we go.
Yeah. Holy cow,
Here's the Golem. Dude. And then here's the Rabbi.
Whoa.
Rabbi, I think I did the best on. And then one of the Musketeers.
Oh, dude, yeah. I've got some characters I've named after Three Musketeers because you got it, man. You gotta love it.
A sword guy. I just redid the chrome on his sword today. It looks way better. But
yeah,
I'll show you the
back. Serious stuff, dude.
Show you the back of the Musketeers because.
Oh yeah, gotta have it.
Crosses on their backs.
Dude.
It came out pretty nice.
Yeah, man.
There's the back of the Golem's pretty cool.
Sweet, dude.
I might throw some rust on his chains later because they're a little too shiny. But
that is not a skill I have, man.
But yeah, so that's
awesome.
Some of the ones I've been working on. There's only I think there's like 3 or 4 of the Cthulhu Death May Dies that I have not primed yet, but I primed all the minis over the past couple days, with like a dark gray, and there's only a couple that I haven't done because I need to make some sprue glue, which is like this plastic glue that actually melds the plastic together, so they're like when you have to build them, they're not always assembled.
Yeah,
it'll like weld the plastic together. It doesn't just glue them together.
So it kind of like gets rid of the seams. It kind of just like
yeah. And from watching some of the painter guys I follow online, mini painter guys, they talked about how you can take the plastic glue and you can pour half of it into a bottle, and then you cut up a bunch of the sprues, the things that the assemble models come on. You cut them up into little pieces, and you throw a bunch of the pieces in the jar, then seal it and let it sit, and then it'll like basically melt the sprue plastic into a paste, and then you can use that paste to fill all the gaps on the minis. So
dude, everybody's saying those minis look great, man. The wife and I have 130 board games, mainly minis, that I have painted. I live in a box fort. Please help me. Hey, listen. I Acetone, Simply Green says. There you have it.
Yeah.
Yep, or CD cases for clear. Simply Green straight acetone or diluted. Look at all this that's coming out in the chat.
Yeah, they're out there, man.
I don't even doubt it, dude.
I'm probably gonna start streaming again because now that I got a new computer and stuff, and we're setting up an office space here at the new house where I'm living at with my wife and kid. And I'm probably gonna start because I'm not really able to be doing like draw streams or stuff for a while just because everything's funky. But I think I might start streaming some of my painting stuff, these minis, and also just
there's nobody on YouTube who's into
talking
that
about it.
stuff.
Yeah. Well, I
Seriously,
think
man,
there's a lot of people within this community that are really into it, which I found just by sharing that I've been doing it lately. So
yeah.
So hopefully some people will show up to my channel and watch.
Yeah, we're here. We're painting minis. Deal with it. You know, we need to have a Pride mini painting. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll invite you on. Hopefully you'll show up occagenally, and we could talk about.
You never know. You know me. I'm like a freaking hermit, but I'll show up.
Yeah, because I'm a novice at this painting thing. Like I said, before I was drawing comics, I was painting minis. Like 2 years before I was like, I want to be a comic book artist. Like I was painting Dungeons and Dragons minis. I wasn't even playing Dungeons and Dragons. I was just getting the minis and painting them with my friends, listening to music and drinking, Dr. Pepper and Mountain Dew. And
you have to drink Dr. Pepper depending on where you're from regionally, right?
Yeah, exactly. And but that was like 35 years ago, and so I just kind of started again, and I'm trying to learn these new techniques of like watering down the paint and like doing light blend shades and stuff like that, and I'm seeing like techniques that people are doing for skin where like they'll like lay down a burnt sort of burgundy color all over the skin, and then they'll go over it with like a light flesh tone paint that's watered down, and it gives it like this amazing looking skin texture. I'm just like, fuck, these techniques are sick. So I'm trying to learn how to do some of that stuff. There's some people out there
who are just so crazy at this. So I know I talk about this stuff a lot, and I don't even know what he'd make of this, but I don't care because he's not here to defend himself. And that, my friends, is how the world works. But let me see if I can share this because we're in StreamYard here. Where's my boy? Hopefully he's still posting. Oh, there we go. There he is. So I know I've brought him up a few times. He hasn't posted in ages. Okay, I don't want this to happen.
Another board game to look into. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's super expensive to get into because it's like a boutique thing. It's this game called Kingdom Death Monster.
Oh.
But it's expensive. It's like $500 for like the base game, and then like the expansion costs like $1,000 or something. And but the minis are like crazy. They're like nightmare fuel, like body horror, like monsters and shit.
Dear God,
ooh, this is cool.
This is my childhood buddy who introduced me to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Tim Vigil's Grip, him and his older brother, and they were playing Call of Cthulhu back in the day. And so he like blew my mind. And I used to say to him, he'd be like, I can't draw. Come hang out with me though, and I want to draw with you. And I'd be like, dude, paint me a mini because I can't do that. So he's a massive Warhammer 40K. There's the baby monitor.
Baby monitor, yeah. That's dad's with painting the minis. That's me right now.
That's right,
actually.
Man. Dude, mine are about to turn 18 and going into their senior
year. Oh my lord, I can't even imagine.
Dude, it's wild. Absolutely wild. But yeah, so this is our kid, man. That's the guy I used to kind of knock around with and hang out with back in the day. What's up,
Michael Bancroft? Hello.
Yeah, man. If you want the link, let us know. But I bet you still just finished up streaming. But you are always welcome in here, Mike.
Yeah,
it's a crazy thing, man.
Always a good hang with Michael Bancroft.
Oh hell yeah, man! He's my bogan brother, man. That's the way it is.
Yeah,
he's my brogan. And this is the thing, right? It's like we're sitting here and like we look at all this stuff. Role-playing game RPG art was one of the first things that got me really wanting to draw because friends were like, or got my friends to like say, oh, can you draw my character? And I remember seeing the artwork for Shadowrun back in the day, which was that what do you call it? That cyberpunk, like hand razors and all that other cool stuff. And I have some Ral Partha minis of that still in the box. I have the Dark Horse miniatures, the first ones of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 4 turtles over there from back in the day. I think it was the first licensing of that stuff.
I was gonna bring that up when you mentioned turtles. Did you remember back in the day, like when the comics first came out, they had lead figurines was like their first merchandising they ever did. Dude, I wish I had some of those. I wanted those back in the day. They were like sold out.
Yeah, they were. I got them in a place called Chattanooga Magic and Fun, and it was like a magic shop, and it was like a what do you call it? And they sold miniatures and role-playing game stuff, and they had those in boxes in the back, and they had big ones. I got a few of those, but the only ones I have now I got on eBay a couple of years ago, which were the original 4 turtles, man. And they're the
awesome.
Shit, so good.
Did they cost you a pretty penny?
Understood. Yeah. They weren't. It wasn't too bad actually. I got them for a decent price. Awesome. Shit that cost me money is like is the I got because I've been wanting this toy to exist since I was a kid, and then it was only
I feel like
set. Was the Shredder, the red NECA Shredder from the Mirage comics. I got him, sold him solo, and I was like, oh, love it, man.
You know what, Mirage, the Mirage line that they've been doing is really cool. I got the Wizard Priestess chick from the Dave Sims crossover.
Yeah, the Cerebus crossover. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I picked her up. I was like, dude, I have to have that one. The only thing that bums me out is her dress isn't blue like it is in the comic.
There's a version of it that's blue.
What? Where's that at?
It's on eBay, and I don't think it's even that expensive because most people don't know that character.
I need that shit.
Issue 8. Look at I love you guys, man. Yeah, man. It was issue 8. That is what indie comics can be, man. And right on. Aether One, you know what I'm talking about, man. But yeah, so that book, I love that book, and they're releasing the villain, man. What's his name? Romero.
Yeah, I saw that. I already pre-ordered him.
Dude, it looks so great. But yeah, they do have that. It's shit, let me just see what it is. I think it came in a loot crate, or I forget what it was, or maybe they just released it through something.
One of my good friends is the guy who was the kid from the Turtles movie.
God, Danny. Yes, but
that's a good friend of mine, and he'd like posted that he's like, dude, they're making an action figure of me, so I went and joined Loot Crate just to get that one figure.
Dude, that is a trip, man.
Yeah, so now I have him, and I take Flat Stanley photos of him places and send it to him. It's like, oh, you're in peril.
Dude, it is. Let me see if I can find her, find that one, because it's done in that style that I love. Yep, it's Mirage Renee Blue variant. So yep, they do have such a thing. Yep.
I gotta find that, dude.
And so that was my problem, right? Because they had the ones. Sorry, folks, if things have gotten a bit too nerdy, but here's where we are. They had the Shredder in the blue IDW costume, and I'm like, no, the Shredder is red. That's the one I need, man. People.
Dude, I've started picking up like cheap vintage turtle stuff.
Oh yeah.
I have my original 4 Shredder, and I think the Surf Frog guy that they had. And those are the only ones I think I had from like the original run, at least that I can remember. I might have other ones, but it's been a while since I've looked at the box. But I know for sure I had the turtles, because it was like when they came out, I was like, oh, dude, these are sick. I have to have these. And then, but yeah, recently I've been looking and I've seen people have used ones that are in pretty good shape, so I've been collecting them. And what's funny is there's evidently, like at a certain point, Playmates was making limited runs of some of the ancillary characters because they didn't think they was popular. And so there's like a cat dude guy called Scratch, and if you can find him, he sells for like $2,000 on eBay.
Oh my god, man!
He was so limited, I guess, like maybe like one per case or something like that. That like he's impossible. And what somebody did was...
You know what's a really super limited figure, though? And it's awesome. One? Have you seen this one?
Dude, I haven't gotten mine yet. I ordered a whole set and they haven't shown up yet.
Well, it was like the rumor is that Ethan was just sending them out to his best friends first, and then after that. So I hope that's not too early to hear. But
that explains why you got one.
no,
I'm
I was so excited.
I'm not loved by the big guys.
No, I think you love.
Well, except for
I think
John Malin loves me a little bit. That guy did me a huge solid.
John Malin loves everyone.
By deciding to put my cover up there. Dude, I am humbled and grateful for that move from him. Like, you wouldn't believe. Like, I was in a really dark, depressed place when he offered that to me. He's like, listen, man. He like messaged me. He's like, listen, I'm thinking about maybe using that piece for a variant cover. Would you mind? I was like, would I mind? Yes, please. And he said, and so he shot me a little extra cash because he was going to use it for a cover instead of interiors. And I split that money off with Billy because Billy really, like, I shat on Billy's color work initially because he colored her perfect and the background was kind of meh. And I told him, no, man, it's got to be better. And I sent it back to him and he redid it and he killed it. So I was like, you deserve half of this.
Too, man. Yeah, there's some great. We got some great people, man, and John is really good people, and you know he's it's crazy because the whole reason I've been working on this old book from back in the day is because John was like, you got to do something with this, man.
Dude. As much as I love Nosferatu. Like, I'm a total Nosferatu fiend, you know that. But that new book, holy crap, bro, that shit is amazing.
You mean that old book?
Yeah, that old book makes me want to quit drawing. It's so good.
Oh, dude. I got to show you some of this shit. It's so weird.
It's like you absorbed everything that was good about Todd McFarlane and threw everything out that was bad. Like, when I look back at his stuff and I go, some of that doesn't look so good. It's like everything that was cherry about his work is like in that book that you're doing. And I'm just going,
dude, it's going to be weird to see how this comes out because
this is the artist. This is the artist that I always wanted to be, like, right here. This is like the quality shit.
You guys are too funny, man. I just all I can tell you is that my wife is pissed because she's been telling me you should do something with this forever. And I was just like going, she's like, when John says it. Dude, John says it then.
You know, it's hilarious. Dude, my wife does the same thing. Because I go, hey babe, so and so said this was good. She's like, oh yeah. So now they say it's good, so it's okay. But when I said it, it was not okay.
It's too freaking funny, man.
I can't believe you let this hide. And the design on this character is so cool.
I was like, I messaged John about it because I said, I don't think. And by the way, all the stuff you're seeing, guys, I've reworked a lot of it. Like, so it's if you have the book, it does not look like this. Like the first two books when they came out. So I've been reworking it and keeping it very much in the spirit of what it was. But I'm just like, I want to make sure it's in the right resolution. When I did this book, it's so crazy. It was in 175 DPI. That's how little I knew what I was doing.
Wow, that's low res.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it was made on a Game Boy, but no, it's it's like I'm going in and like getting that
Gen 1 Game Boy, the one that needed to have a light on the screen, otherwise you couldn't see it.
Damn right, man. And so this book is getting an ending. It's getting completely...
Getting an ending? You mean it's not going to be a continuing thing?
Well, it's getting an ending in the sense that all of my books do. So Nosferatu ends, and then it's the next adventure, right? Like
okay, well that's what I mean. Like don't end it. Like we need more of this.
See, my wife, I don't know. I said my plan was to do something with Nosferatu. I've got an art book. I'm going to do a Nosferatu art only edition. So I've got all these things down the pike. And I said, I don't know what this means. And she's like, if Spring Ball makes a buttload of money, I guess you're going to be doing some more Spring Ball then, though. And I said, fair enough. Yeah. So, but we're just going to, see where it goes. And then I got to get into the groove, with it. So the pages I'm doing right now, I'm just roughing them in.
I feel like the Comicsgate audience specifically, Spring Ball is like the type of book they've been really waiting for. Because
I think so too.
As much as everybody else has been doing like throwback to like the really cool stuff we love from the 90s, like this whole thing is like a book that's being drawn in the 90s, but like through some sort of like, Stargate or teleportation device is being transformed transported to a printer today.
Yeah, well, the transportation device is called John Wick. And yeah, and so like I had to completely rework the composition on this page to make it what I want it to be. And so like that entire face right there, this is me basically working in digital now on my trackpad. So I'm going and I'm like hand, doing all this shit and just
evil AI artists.
Yeah, dude, it's really crazy, dude. I was like talking. By the way, I do have to say that I love both digital and traditional, but I must say this about digital, right? Digital for me, it's like it's the difference between building a mansion in Minecraft and then trying to build it like in real life. Is the difference. Like digital, I can do laying down in bed. It's great. And I can just, and it's the weirdest thing. If you look at my process now on this, and someone was pointing this out the other day, I am painting the book and then inking it. So I'm working like a painter. I'm roughing in the big shapes and then getting the energy with the brush strokes. And then I go in and I pull out the sort of ink lines and I just, all that stuff's just by hand on the trackpad. But I'm scribbling and sketching it out too big and painterly so I can get the compositions that I want to get. And so by the time like this figure, of course, has been reworked. I know you hate this kind of shit, Dan. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fucking terrible. Why are you showing me this
My
shit?
apologies.
Wait, go back.
Yeah, exactly. No, but the point is that when we're working and our artistic integrity. Yeah, exactly. But so this is showing kind of my painterly process for how I rough stuff in. And so these are some of, this is like this is me like from sketching it and then it's like going in and rendering and starting to figure out what things are going to be. But this page is a new page that's going to be a double page spread and I'm going to move these cables so I can make all of these panels inside of here because that's the shit I love to do. So yeah, I think it's going to be a dynamite book. It's a trip that, I mean, it is what it is. But I was saying to someone the other day, it's like when the universe does it, man. It's like fucking hell, just let it happen.
I get the drawing digital thing. I just for myself, like at least for the line art and the inking, like I just enjoy swimming in the actual physical pages of like doing the thing. Like I worked digital for years making video games, so I can do this. Like the process of my enjoyment of making the books comes from making the physical thing. But I like the other half of it is all digital. Like if I was to color the book, it would be digital color. I lettered my books in digitally, layouts and everything. Not layouts.
You want to hear the crazy thing? Even the hand lettered type though, I'm doing that shit now, like because some of it is sticking around from the book, but some of it I've got to add. That's all stuff I'm doing in digital. And here's the best way I could put it. I'm not drawing this book and coloring it. It was always going to be colored in Photoshop. Now Photoshop is letting me paint the book because I'm a painter. So I don't really like, I see the drawing, like it's weird. Like, and you know this because it's like, we both like, we switch gears. We both do everything, right? But it's like when people are, I can't do what I'm doing here, which is washing in the color and then pulling the lines out of it bit by bit. When I'm if I was just to pencil and ink this and then do washes over it, that's not how I work, right? Now, anyway, that's how my stuff evolved. And so going back to that style, some of the kind of cartooniness and the playfulness is me being able to paint with Photoshop gesturally, and then I go in and I ink it. So the only way I could ever do that in traditional would be for me to actually, which it wouldn't make any sense, but for me to paint it in digital and then ink it, right? But I wouldn't get that. I'm really going for that. You were talking about Todd McFarlane stuff, right? And of course, Todd's an influence, huge influence on us, like the big influence on it. But the other aspect of it is Tom Orzechowski and Steve Oliff. So I'm actually referencing in a lot of ways that early 90s computer coloring and shit like that. And so that's the stuff. And then it's like for this other project I have, which is really strange. I don't know if I've shown this to you, Dan, but it's like, I think it might be Alley. Oh God, if I can find it, man, my studio is just piles of artwork, dude. I know you
Dude,
know.
mine is crazy bad right now. Like,
Yeah.
I went down to my dad's place where my studio's at not too long ago to set up the new computer, which I might end up just taking apart again and bringing it up here because I think I'm probably
Yeah,
going to be
man.
doing more work in the studio here.
Oh
But
shit! I gotta show you this. I'm so
it's
sorry.
so cram packed with stuff in there now. It's like crazy. In my room, it was like the Spider Queen room from Crawl. There's just so
Oh
many
my
spider
God.
webs I walked through, and I was like turned into like Vincent Price as a fly. I was like, "Help me, help
Sometimes you
me!"
gotta. So
Yeah.
I bought these online. So these I wanted this since I was
Oh,
a kid.
dude, you got the Grips portfolio?
The Grips portfolio, right? But here's the other thing I
Oh,
bought
fuck.
on eBay that you'll appreciate
I
because
do not have that. I need that. Oh my
you know I'm a
god.
fan. I bought some Tim sketches a while back for
You didn't get my
inspiration.
Goblin Girl sketches, did you?
No, I didn't. I would never do
Somebody
that.
got my Goblin Girl sketches. I asked Tim to draw a piece for me. He drew a
Yeah.
piece that was like really only usable for a card because of like the style he drew it in. But then
Mhm.
I started seeing people were sending me photos of prelims that he did of the Goblin Girl thing, and I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
"Fuck, Tim! Why did you do this one?"
Jasper
So I
Plan
might
9,
hit
it's
him
so
up
great
to
to
do
see you, brother.
another piece for me because
Oh,
I
dude.
like the one he did, but like I think he felt hamstringed because I told him, I said, yeah, no nudity or cocks in it because I want to try
Yeah.
and keep this sort of PG. And he was like,
Mhm.
"Oh, come on, just a little bit. We'll just for this piece." And I was just like,
Just
"No,
a
Tim."
touch, right?
Yeah. So then he made this kind of sort of nebulous thing that was like, it's good, but it looks like Tim trying to draw the way I draw my character, where I wanted Tim to draw his style of the
His
character.
version of it. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so I think I'm just gonna go, Tim, just draw what you need to draw, and just give me something that looks like a Faust or a Grips cover. It's just like I need
And that's
something vicious.
man, that's the difficulty of all this stuff, right? So it's like when I'm working on and I'm getting into a groove with it, but I still want to do more. But when I'm working on Michael's the Lucent piece,
Oh God,
right?
that's
It's like
gorgeous.
this thing is going to be sick, man. This thing is going to be sick, and
I
I
love
cannot wait to freaking get this to like now that I can paint again because I got these damn glasses and I can see now, which was such a pain in the ass. I had the wrong prescription. I was getting headache, man. I was like, I could not work. I'm like, what the is going on? And it was
That's
my
terrible.
glasses prescription, dude.
I love
But
that guy's face right there. The
oh,
little
dude,
face is staring through the
yeah,
thing up there.
he's going to
Dude.
be emerging from this blood, and I'm looking at both Dune, that great shot from Dune, and Apocalypse Now
Yes.
with Martin
Yes.
Sheen,
It's gorgeous.
and it's got to be perfect, man, for my brother Mike, man, my freaking Brogan. And the
Mhm.
thing about it is that there's this little sort of subtle body shift that I wanted for. Let me see if I can get it right here. For the figure in the chair with the cloak, and this is very, very small and very, very detailed, or sorry, subtly detailed because I wanted to get the lighting. Let me let it focus.
Yeah.
There it is.
His book
'Cause it's
is like, I wanted to do fan art for his book, but like
yeah,
I wouldn't know what the hell to draw for that. So it always
dude,
amazes me when I see you do this. I'm like, what the
it's
fuck, man?
immense. It's
This is
poetic.
amazing.
It's like the man. It is,
Yeah.
you know, it's and doing like these little flecks of paint right here on you
Mhm.
know the stairs as it's
Yeah.
both you know the stairs are going up, they're going down, they're emerging from the water. You know, this idea of you know getting the look of the well and having the well you know disintegrate and kind of into this sort of dreamscape, and having the motorcycle
Yeah.
and just having these almost like a giant playing card, but having this the soulful nature of this book is a huge part of this painting. It's going to be one of the
Yeah.
best paintings I do. My next art book I do is going to be sick because it's going to have a lot of these paintings that I've done. There's a piece I did for Malin's. I did two pieces. I did one of Lascivia, one of my characters for the Visions book that's coming out with
Oh,
Godlike.
sweet.
Yeah, but then I also did another one I can't talk about yet. That's a pinup of a good buddy of mine's character, and it's like all of these pieces I'm going to be putting together at some point in an art book, and it's like the Comicsgate stuff and the Iron Age stuff, like Razor Fist stuff that I'm doing. It's just I love painting shit that's new, man. You know, like we're bringing this shit into the Iron Age, man, and I love it, man. That's what I love about it.
I like the Iron Age title. That like,
dude, Razor Fist is a man with words, dude. Yeah, it's like, and
fits well with my character as well.
I just started painting some of his characters because I was listening to his audiobooks when I worked, and then he saw he was talking about westerns, and I sent him my Woody Strode painting. And out of nowhere, I didn't know he was working. I think I kind of knew he was working on a comic. He may have mentioned it. But he was like going, so, hey, we just hit 300K on Ghost of the Badlands. And at 300K, I'm commissioning artists to do paintings that will be posters. And in the hardcover, they're going to be in the gallery section. And I want to commission you to do one.
The book is at 300,000?
I think he closed it at 340, I think, thousand.
Holy shit.
Yeah, man. Him and Eric July have a serious audience, man. And it's like, and I've got both of his books and hardcovers over here somewhere. Oh. I've got Death Mask and I've got The Long Moonlight.
I love my 300 people that are back to me so far plus.
Yeah,
but man, that would be great to have an audience that large.
Dude, he's been building it forever, dude, and it's like and he's tackling a genre that you know, I think it's a great time to be doing it, but it's one he cares really deeply about.
I put it's funny you have Aura Cuffles up. I put in I'm a huge fan of those muscle wrestler figures. I had those as a kid. I had all of them.
Yeah, man.
And I've been seeing him doing them for people, and I was like, what do I have to do to get on the list to get one of those made for Goblin Girl? And he's just like,
dude, it's the same thing with me, man. It's the same thing. When we were talking about those Ninja Turtle miniatures, I am convinced he could do some very killer Ral Partha style, TMNT style miniatures for sure. Like, and because I like the newer materials they make minis out of, because the lead stuff. Air Couples, it's like parfait. There you go. Yeah, first Lucent is an opening. But yes, absolutely. Yeah, man, Michael. Let me tell you something. I've not taken my mind off of the Lucent this entire time because I've got the painting sitting right here. It's just when I was wrapping up, you know, and like the head sketches and all the other stuff, right? When I was wrapping up, God, I want to show you guys that book so bad, the whole book, and just fuck it and just spoil the shit out of it. But when I was wrapping up this book and I was like trying to put in like some of these more like soulful kind of moments, and then do the you know, the work that you do when you're wrapping up a book, and it's just like it's got to feel like, I don't know, it's a very intense place to, you know, like, because I'm doing it with Eric Weathers is lettering it, thank God. But it's I don't know, it's a huge deal. It's a huge life moment to me to be doing this book, man. And it's like it just sort of it's hard to describe. You know, doing Spring Ball in a lot of ways is just so much easier because I kind of know what I'm going to do with it. I've got it's not nearly as complicated because you're trying to basically just paint, you know, bleed on the page with the paint. And that's what it is with all this stuff. What's up, Jay Lee, my man? How are you doing? The Steins in the house. It's good to see you, brother. And the thing about it is that with Razor Fist piece, I did a composition, showed it to him, he approved it. I started to get to the point where I was going to transfer it, and I was like, nope, this doesn't work. I was like, it's not what it needs to be. And then I redid it and sent him a composition. He's like, yes, this is also good. But, you know, you want it to be great because, you know, the artwork thing that we do, it's like a conversation. You know what I mean? Yeah. We pass this stuff back. Like, my painting for the Lucent is me having read Mike's work and knowing him and then saying to him, like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? And do you get it? You know, like, am I getting it? And when Mike saw the sketch, and he's like, "Yeah, you're totally getting it. One thing you could do is this, and make this character there." And I'm like, "Awesome! That's the conversation." It's a beautiful thing to be able to have these art conversations. You know what I mean? And this creativity conversations. You know. Finished penciling the last page of the Steins, so now I have to get everything inked. So right on track. Excellent, Jay Lee. Glad to hear it, man. That's awesome. And yeah, hail to you, brother. But it's like when I see in these independent studios doing like Lovecraft themed games, bringing their A game, making the packaging and everything look great. That's the stuff I love about what we're doing here. You know, I don't know what famous company says making it great. It might be McDonald's, but either way, that's what I believe in. You know, that's what it's about.
Making it great.
Yeah, that's right, man. Got to make it good like that. I do not know. Much like when people get Nosfero, they're gonna go, "How did Shanth make money on this?" And it's like, well, here's the thing, guys. But
he made it great.
He made it great, though. But with the CyberFrog figures, I see those things. I see the Heather Swain, and I'm like, yeah, there's no way Ethan was making bank on these. He was putting bank into creating them. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
There's Fund My Comics, guys, right there. There it is. And I had a blast. That's another example of what we do in this space. I was just riffing off of, the design for the Fund My Comic, and I sent them that design, and it became the design on the website. Like, we just do shit to help each other out and just go, having fun and making cool shit. Because I want to do something on Fund My Comic at some point too. Because I'm like, if I take the Fund My Comic logo rework, I got to do something on there, man. Otherwise,
I thought about doing my Kaiju Saki book on there.
Oh, cool, man!
I had some new pages, and I was going to recolor the thing and do some tonal work on it, and but I fucking had to stop because I was working on it, and I was just kind of messing stuff up because my shit's all fucked up right now. But
because when your body's immune system is getting fucked with, it makes you tired. I've been told.
It does. Well, only that, but like it also, you have a lot of. At least I've found I get a lot of pains and aches from it, and
almost like it's kicking your ass on the inside. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's weird. I don't know if you've ever heard of a comic called The Hulk, but yeah, it's like a thing.
Yes.
Yeah. That's the shit, man. Yeah. Yeah, I've been with some people for various kinds of chemo, and it's always a kick in the ass. And what you got to do, and something artists aren't great at, which is you got to kind of, and I think I wrote this to I might have wrote this to Aaron's missus. Because I said
she's fighting hard.
She's fighting hard, and I said a good, what's the word I'm looking for, is a good fighter knows when to take a knee and get a standing 8 count, as opposed to waiting till you get dropped and having to struggle to make the 10 count. It's a smart bit of strategy. And it's one of those things where I tell people is you got to be smart with that shit and not fuck around and say, this is what we're doing now, and we're gonna kick ass when we come back. But we're also gonna keep ourselves doing what we need to do to stay sane and not be idle. That's why painting those miniatures is good, dude. It's where you need to be, because
that's the thing. I needed to find
your
something.
Spirit charged.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I had to find something to get me through, and I was just, it was creatively like I was dying inside. I was just like, I need to do something. And
man.
I was like, well, maybe I could do the miniature thing, because it's, I mean, there's technique to it. It's not to say that it's easier than drawing, but it's in some ways, at least the way I go about it, because I'm not like a god painter. I'm just kind of like a novice. It's relaxing in a way that it's something artistically I can zone out on, that creatively I get a result out of, but it doesn't require me to worry about like I said, perspectives and shit that usually as an artist you're like, oh, are these eyeballs, are they lined up? Like, is the body like fucking 5 apples high? Like goofy stuff like that.
I'm the weirdest. I'm the weirdest. In terms of when I'm working, that I know some people, it's like they can never get things done because they're trying to get it quote unquote, perfect and all that shit. And for me, I really labor over shit, like in terms of like, it's gotta be at a certain level of quality. But once it is, I can go, okay, now it's fucking done, right? But it's like when you've got something that's fucking with your mind, the issue about it becomes you're not in your right headspace, and you have to be within an optimal range in order to do the complexity involved in doing a traditional painting, interlocking, storytelling thing. Whether you're doing this shit in gray wash, whether you're doing this stuff in ink wash, whether you're doing this stuff in color, you got to have your shit together. You know what I mean? And taking a knee is the smartest shit you can do right now, man. Dan's quiet now. Or we lost him. I hope we didn't lose him. But that's the big shit I think that people often.
I'm still here. Sorry, I was mixing up some paint.
Oh, that's fine, man. You mix away.
Because
if it wasn't for mixing, I wouldn't be here. But
drawn, but or I'm working on stuff, and I'm chatting with you at the same time, and I realized I wasn't working anything. I was just chatting. So.
Oh, dude, yeah. That's what it's about, man. That's what it's about. Yeah, man. It's like, and I will tell you this, it's the Zen aspect of it, man. So now Dan takes 4 minutes to do a panel instead of 3 minutes. Jeez, Dan.
God,
yeah, man. You got the respect, man. You got the speed. People know, man. People who know. That's the way it is.
I wish it was that fast right now. It's not.
Yeah, but it's the crazy thing about it, right? Is it's like you got to give yourself props, man, when you're sorting shit, and it's like right now, give yourself props. You're kicking ass. You did a lot of hard work building the fan base, building everything from Goblin Girl. And it's like when it comes time to take a knee, that shit doesn't just disappear. And I know we feel like, I got to be doing this, I got to be doing that constantly.
Well, that's the thing, man. Like, I don't want to disappear on my audience, So I'm
there's a difference between disappearing on your audience, right, and then being a dumbass and not doing what needs to get done. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like,
I mean,
the best doctor in the South I ever took my wife to was hilarious. We went to go see this doctor, and she was talking about her thyroid after the kids were born. And this doctor was the funniest Southern dude you've ever heard. He had a list. It was great. He was like, all right, hi, Gal. How you doing? It was freaking hilarious. My wife goes, it just makes me sad because ever since I had the kids, my thyroid stopped working, and now I have to take thyroid medication every day. And he looked her dead in the eye. I almost died, Dan. He goes, you know what, though? Sure beats being stupid.
Oh, my God.
And so that's our new mantra with shit. You know what I mean? It's like, sure beats being stupid. And so, yeah, your chemo and all that shit right now, that's where you need to be at, baby. And that's where we want you.
Everybody's talking about doing this amazing con next year. Are you going to come out to Vegas?
I don't typically leave the house, but I might. It depends. It depends on the missus, man. Yeah, man.
If you do, there might be a bottle of Goblin Girl wine in it for you.
Oh, dude, I'm down for that. I don't even typically drink, but the missus might be down for it,
My wife is... oh, okay. Yeah, because my wife she's got wine that she's making at this place out in Vegas.
Yeah.
And they still have a little bit left of the barrel that has not been accounted for. And I thought about getting like 12 bottles of it and making some
that's awesome.
Limited edition Goblin Girl wine.
Oh my God, dude, that'd be awesome.
Yeah,
man. I might head out there because my brother Gabe has been telling me I need to come out because he's been pitching things like ribs, barbecue, and Mexican food.
Oh.
And that shit's I can roll with good food. Yeah. Looking at Perspective Hotel, says Moromi. That's right. I'm back, brother. What's up, Phil? I want to try some of that legendary Vegas food is what I want to try. That's what I'm down for, man. That's what I'm down for. Absolutamente. Oh, holy cow. I just realized something. We got a members chat a while back, and I'm so asleep at the switch. I forgot that when people send a members chat, I'm supposed to actually be celebrating it, man. So, oh my God. I think it was General Piggy. I'm so sorry I missed this. Here you go. Yeah, super chats and member chats are supposed to get cheerleaders. I don't know what the hell I was thinking.
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't have enough people to have those yet.
Well, you'll get there, man. You'll get there. You'll get there.
I only have a few people watching me.
Let's try that again. You'll get there.
Okay.
The answer, there you go. Attaboy. That's all there is to it, man. I'm getting punchy, man. I've got 2 soon-to-be 18-year-old kids. It's just craziness, man.
Yeah.
Twins will do that to you. And
Dude,
I'm going to say this, too,
for
right?
my kid to, like, be talking and...
Oh, dude, it's great. Parenthood's awesome as shit, man. I love it. And funny enough, it wasn't till being a parent and I had so much pressure and stuff on my time and all this craziness that I really started to understand time, and it pushed my art to the next level. It's a crazy thing to think about, but I think that having to be economical with time and having to have a lot of stuff going on a lot of times just really helps you, like, under pressure. What's that fucking quote? You know the quote from speaking of Dumas, the freaking Count of Monte Cristo, you know? What would I have been if not for that pressure? Out of this comes lightning, out of lightning comes electricity, out of electricity comes illumination. I forget exactly what it was, but it's very true, like those things. Oh, God, yeah, John, laugh out loud. Shanth is going to get country fried steak in Vegas. You're damn right I will. I'll get country fried steak anywhere. We had a funeral here when they took it off the Chili's menu in my house. It was heartbreaking. Oh, my God, man. So good. I got to drive to a Cracker Barrel or something, even though it's not my go-to. It's going to have to happen, you know?
Cracker Barrel. Great.
Holy Lord, man. Holy God. But yeah, man, it's really funny that, you know, we have all these kind of interests. We have a lot of, I know, I think Malin is really passionate about Lovecraft as well. You know, I think Polton was talking about how he just wanted to have a giant monster, and it was Malin made it Cthulhu in Graveyard Shift because he's such a big Lovecraft fan, which I thought that had always been the case for Graveyard Shift. I had no idea that John was so into that, man. Sweet. But that's the stuff I'm really excited about because even in Spring Ball, funny enough, I described the location of the lab as being on Sentinel Hill. I had forgotten about that. Like all these references to Dunwich Horror. Sounds like Utnapishtim schooling Gilgamesh. God. No, man, it's like, this is the thing about it. So I had this thing that one of my teachers / Dutch uncles used to say to me, where he came up to me and he complimented my work, and my very next reaction was to compliment his work back. And he grabbed me and he said, say thank you. Because the compliment isn't just about you. And if you don't say, it's about hearing the other person. And he said, if you don't say thank you, you don't internalize it. And I thought about that, and I was like, fuck, I am very evasive with compliments and shit like that. So now I would tell my friends, when I compliment you, say thank you so it goes in. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's fucked up. I
understand it, yeah, more than I did before you just explained it to me, so I thank you.
Yeah, man, there you got it. And it's like, you're welcome. I got to work on my shit too. But it's really true. Like, when people say something good about your work, it's like, it's really important to say, you know, thank you. And I used to try to be fucking, you know, evasive because it was just like, fuck, but it's so important, man. It's like, it's such an important thing when you, and I always tell my kids too, I go, when someone does something, you know, good for you, make sure you say thank you. And, you know, please and thank you is about 80% of parenting as far as I'm concerned. That's a fucking huge part of it, man. You know, but it's, you know, it's crazy to be on this side of it, you know, where it's like my kids have jobs and they go to work and, you know, they drive and all that shit, man. It's a trip, you know, it's a total trip. Yeah. My son's a professional special effects artist. It's fucking insane.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's
17,
awesome.
man. Fucking, that kid's a monster. We don't know where the hell it came from either. We're just like, all right, cool.
Practical or digital?
People are like, oh, did you teach him that? I'm going, do we look like we know how to do that shit?
Like, is he practical or digital?
Digital. Yeah, he does special effects for historical documentaries.
Oh, wow.
And like talks to historians and scientists about all the rivets and shit that need to be there. He's the shit, man. Proud of that guy. Yeah, man. He's a good egg. And he also does the dishes. He gets shit done. You know, holds the doors for ladies. That's the shit that matters for me, man.
That is really good. Yeah.
Respect. Well, it's weird too because um, I said I know you. I said this jokingly to him because he's a smart kid. He knows. I said I know you don't understand this, but when I was teaching you how to do work, do the dishes, and be respectful and polite and all that shit, and I was really fucking hard on you. It was so when you got into a job, your skill set would be there and your manners would close the deal.
Yeah, 100%.
Got to be that way, and it's like I just don't. And that's just that's the way it is. It's like and also at the same time, man, it's like you know, don't be a pushover too, and don't let people fuck with you. And not in his work and his shit he's dealing with, but I also have always told him I go understand when people are cool people and they're down, but don't like and because I told him this when I was younger, and especially on the fucking internet, man, you can get rolled really easily. As we've seen, a lot of people who kind of like came into various industries and various professions, who were it's like, oh, I'm fun, I'm blah, blah. And then it's like they burn that shit down.
Yeah.
I learned that teaching, is how to spot fake fucking people, who are, for lack of a better way of putting it, political. They're in there to stir up shit and to make themselves the center of shit with controversy and all that other horse shit. But they actually, if you step back and look at them, all they do is like trade and gossip and bullshit like that. And people with skill and have to be mindful of that because you have to find the people who are there who actually have your back. And I think that's why our fans and the people who support us are so fucking important to us because they're gold. I don't know why so many people in the industry took them for granted and threw fans away. It's the fucking dumbest shit.
That's crazy.
Fucking nuts, man. It's
yeah, like, I will never understand
our
that.
money, please. I've been a fan of this shit for my whole life. Can I please just be a fan? It's like, no, go to hell.
This isn't for
all right,
you.
Take care, Phil. Yeah, exactly. It's weird, man. I mean, I remember saying this too. It's like they've got Wolverine. How the fuck are we beating them?
Yeah.
Like, how are we taking these people to school? And it's because their stuff is shit. And it's because they tell the audience they hate them. Like, if you had told Universal Studios is a really good example that right when they got to the point where they could really start finally competing with like Harry Potter and shit like that with Disney, that Disney was going to spike the ball in their own fucking end zone, they probably wouldn't have believed you, man. But it's like when I'm working on this book right here, which is going to be, I'm thinking right now anyway, grayscale, or this idea, let's say, grayscale washes on toned gray media paper and then maybe digitally colored, unless I keep it black and white. But this is a book story I'm working on right here, which is a total like love letter to Ninja Turtles via Lovecraft. And it's going to be so fucking fun. And I can't wait to do something with it, man. It's just going to be a blast. And funny enough, these three rats characters are named after the Three Musketeers, of course, because, that's the shit we love. But but there's the main thing for me right now is, just realizing that we can realize the potential on all of these characters and all of these ideas. We just want to make sure we deliver the best possible product. And I want Nosfera, when people get that book, I want them to, one, open it, and I want them to, like, the paper quality of my interior pages is so fucking heavy. Like, it's not unmanageable, but it's like serious paper. And it's a book that really is going to feel substantial. It's not going to be, it's, what is it? Low page count, high plot, that kind of shit. But I'm excited about everybody's book and everybody's approach. That's interesting. Like, I love Battle Brick Road. Guys, the link is in the description. Let's kick ass on that campaign. Battle Brick Road, Eric's doing this crazy thing with these one-of-a-kind covers, and it is just fucking insane. It's so cool, And it's this thing. Actually, I should share that instead of talking about it because it doesn't make any sense to talk about this because it's so hard for me to describe it. But Eric's doing this thing on Battle. Have you seen the campaign? It's on its own site. It's so crazy, man. So Eric is doing.
I was gonna say him and Bancroft. I said him and Bancroft with their and Aerith Saga with their own sort of website thing. I'm like, man,
these guys are crushing it, man. the fact that they're doing that shit, it should just make everybody feel proud. Like, we should feel so proud to make this shit, reign, on their channels, because it's like on their websites, because they're building this shit out. And it's like, page thickness is going to create inadvertent cut. Yeah, exactly. It is. Yeah, it probably is. But when I see this right here, almost at 20K again, which is great. And I want to just keep seeing this shit move. Almost to 300 backers. Can we get 2 more backers on this and get to 300 on this stream? That would be so great. It's almost 4 in the fucking morning here. But it's like, oh man, do we have 2 people who have not backed this book who can back it now and back it again? I've backed it 3 times. I backed the record. I backed the art book. I backed, all of that shit, man. Like the art record, the poster book or print book, I'm sorry, and the comic book. Let's get this to 300 backers. Let's have Eric wake up and see 300 backers. I think that is such a fucking great idea. Let me see here. Hang on. I'm just gonna see if there's something I've missed that I need to buy on here. Let me see. I know like it only refreshes every hour, so you never really know like what exactly it is, but I want it to be definitely at 300 backers. Let me see what I got here. All right. I am backing the mail-in cover right now. I'm going to make sure I do my bit. It's my 4th time backing it, but fuck it.
Jesus.
I don't care. That's how I roll. That's how I roll, kids. Yeah, man. It's like this guy, Leonard Nosfero, he's been a real brother, man, just like Bancroft, man. And it's like, these guys are my guys, dude. They're crazy, man. Let me see here. I think I got it all. Let's see if I did that. Oh, shit. What did I fuck up this time? Hardly shocking. Let me see here. This, that. I think I did everything correct, but you never really know. I have to click something. Okay. Let's try it this time and see if I got it wrong again. Boom. There it is, kids. Done. So whether it refreshes or not, we are definitely 1 away. If somebody in the chat has backed, then we're good to go. Yeah, got a budget for CG books. I know exactly what you're talking about. If somebody else backs this book, and even if it's not going to show up for whatever, every hour, I think it updates, then he'll wake up to 300 backers tomorrow, and that puts a big smile on my face. And if somebody backs this in the chat, let us know, and I'll send a cheerleader your way. But could not be prouder of him. So let me talk about this cover because it's cool as shit. So his printer does this thing where they take this drawing of these 3, or sorry, oh gosh, I can't believe I said 3. 5 characters right here, all on these bricks or tiles of Battle Brick Road. And then these other tiles that are floating in front and around them. And it does an algorithm so that it will arrange them differently in any variation that almost infinite variations. And Eric can then go through them and say, okay, this one's aesthetically good enough so that everybody who backs this cover is getting a 1 of 1, the only cover that looks like that with those characters in that position. Wow. If that makes any sense. So yeah, so it's a totally unique thing. It's a first for this campaign. I'm going to call it a crypto cover or a cover SE, which I believe stands for SHANTH ENJETI. Probably not true. But for $34.99, you can get that cover. And I'm telling people, get that cover. It is crazy. 62 people right here are going to have one-of-a-kind covers, instant 1 of 1. It's the coolest shit. And I love he came up with that. So, guys, please check out Battle Brick Road. Please back this book. Make it happen. Yeah, the SHANTH ENJETI Southeast cover. That is what it's going to be called. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Procedural cover, cool. Yeah, there's some cool shit going on that campaign. And the record. You got to back the record. That's my attitude, man. Because it's a 7-inch vinyl. Holy cow. So I'm glad you're painting those miniatures, dude. That's so cool because I haven't had anybody to talk to about those. I think they're really cool. Yeah. I think that game's a great idea. Man. Holy cow, Jeremy Burt's just back the mail-in cover. You legend. Let me send you a cheerleader. He's going to wake up to 300 backers tomorrow, and it's going to be fucking great. Thank you. That is what we like to see, you beautiful people. You beautiful people. That's right. Yeah, bow indeed, man. But yeah, guys, we're having fun here. We're working, we're creating stuff. And I love that you were painting those miniatures right as I said that. That cracked me the
Yeah,
fuck.
I was like, dude, that's exactly what I'm painting.
Yeah. It's like birds of a feather, man. That's the way it is. That is the way it is, man. So yeah, we're just gonna keep, making cool shit. And I think that was the biggest thing for me with doing, this idea of taking Spring Ball and making unfortunately the new GW is screwing that hobby too. I'm trying to think of what that is. Going Woke.
Games
I
Workshop.
can probably Games Oh yes, Games Workshop.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that just took me back. I remember getting those magazines, man. God, Thrud the Barbarian and all that shit. Those were great.
Yeah.
Warhammer's for everyone, but yeah, I used to look at the artwork, and that's one of the things I want to do. Yes, Comicsgate does work without a doubt.
Games Workshop has nerfed a bunch of the. So like Warcraft used to be like super. Like the thing that was awesome about it, which I wasn't as into that as other things, but the thing that made Warhammer really cool, I think, aesthetically for everybody that was playing it the longest time, was that there were so many ways that you could strategize to win, like different, kind of like football. You could have like a playlist of like different things you could do to go up against somebody's army. Well, they
like
nerfed
Blood Bowl.
it. They nerfed it because they thought it's too complicated for a new person to like learn all those rules.
And
so
Lord
they
knows your
simplified
target
the whole
audience
fucking
is a
thing.
bunch of new people.
Yeah, they simplified it down to like 6 things that you can do now to make it easier for somebody coming in not to have to learn all the different things. So it's just like
ridiculous. And those are the people who don't stick around and spend entire life savings on those damn miniatures.
Well,
right?
yeah, that's
funny shit.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'm calling this book.
That,
monsters are always going to be my thing. This book's called Spring Ball Terminal Monstrosity, and it's going to be. It literally is happening because of a freaking chance conversation with lots of Mary Shelley quotes at every chapter break. But it's a trip to go in and rework this thing and make it, become sort of what it could become. I even, because I hand lettered the first book and I wanted to keep that sort of look, I even made a font of my hand lettering from back then so that I could type it out and have it look, have that kind of imperfection of, what the, what that time period was in my work. So it's kind of fun, throw this shit together and make it something good. But man, I'm putting some fucking work into this.
It also looks like it belongs like in the CyberFrog universe.
Dude, it is so funny.
It looks like the classic CyberFrog stuff I used to love.
Yeah, dude. Dude, it is so weird, man. I didn't know anything about Ethan's comic book work. I basically, that blows my mind. So I came into this space from Fandom Menace, and I never read DC Comics. Or outside of like, Killing Joke, Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
I mean, I even bought Travis Charest's Flash annual, like shit that I would grab, that was like, standout. So I was not into DC characters. So I had missed his shit on how big of a contribution he made at DC. My first Ethan Van Sciver book was the new CyberFrog series. And so I'm like, and to me, it's like when Todd, came up with Spawn and then he went and did Spider-Man and all those books. Then he came back to it. CyberFrog has, in my opinion, benefited tremendously from Ethan's time on Green Lantern and all the creativity he had there. And I think maybe that's what's happening with Spring Ball right now. Like it's so much better for having me step away from it. And come back to it with fresh eyes. Because there are drawings in this book that were, and some of them still are, but are fucking diabolical. Like, I look at them and I'm like, what did I say? I got to one page and I texted my buddy who's in the chat from time to time, the groomsman, and I said, who fucking colored this? Stevie Wonder? What the hell? Like, this is some shit here, man.
Yeah.
It's just painful, man. Yeah.
Well, that's what happened with Goblin Girl, even when I went back to that. It was just like, I was like, oh, I'll just add a couple things in here that I left out. And I was like, Oh God, no! Like I have to redo this whole thing. Like this is not
Yeah,
gonna work.
I don't know if Spring Ball's going to be coming out before the Nosferatu Second Chance, because that's the thing. This is kind of it's kind of interrupted in a glorious sort of fashion, the flow of these things. But I'm going to say this, man, when it comes to Comicsgate, when it comes to the stuff that I'm doing in here, um I'm just really trying to be, and this isn't just a Comicsgate or art thing. This is something I've been really thinking about a lot in my life, which is,
Hmm.
for so long, I think you can get into this period where you try to, you have to work hard, you have to put your stuff out there, and when opportunity happens, you've got to jump on it with both feet. But
Yeah.
I want this book, or any of it I'm doing, to be forced, because I'm at this point where it's like, I want to just do the best work, and I could never be even considering doing Spring Ball if it wasn't the fact that, I was in this particular place where I knew what to do with it,
Hmm.
and it's the same thing with Nosferatu. I don't want to do any books where I leave people hanging, because I want to make sure that whenever I come to these books, I give them a fresh adventure. That's not for everybody, but on a painted book like Nosferatu, if it was a cliffhanger, it's like, what? Like, I'll see you in 2.5 more years of like labor intensive painting and writing. No. So the second chance campaigns are important, the equity building in these characters. So Spring Ball and the Nosferatu Second Chance campaign, where I'm going to definitely do a art only book,
Hmm.
is going to be, that's going to be a blast, because the whole thing about doing Nosferatu was, can we raise enough money to not completely die financially,
Right.
right? So that we can have equity in this thing. And thank God for the backers, because it would have hurt a lot worse if we hadn't had that kind of success. Ethan, which he absolutely did not have to do, did a closeout stream, and we made a couple extra $1,000.
Wow.
That's helped us big time in that last stream. I mean, shit, man, I wish I could have done that for you with the closeout stream I did
Eh,
on Goblin Girl.
you
That's
did
the
pretty good
goal,
for me though,
man.
man. You really
I
did.
know,
You
baby, but it's like, how it is. You want to help
Yeah.
people, It's like,
Yeah,
fuck,
I
but
probably
that was one of my
overextended
favorites.
myself a little bit on the book, but I know like I'm delivering some cool stuff.
Dude,
Some of
people
the
are
extras and
into it,
stuff.
man. And I'm into it, man. It's like, I'm fucking hell, man. It was such a pleasure to back that book, man. And I don't know, I'm one of those people to where it's like, I don't know, man. It's like, I'm here and I'm in CG because, and in the Iron Age space too, because I include Razorfist and the Ripiverse thing, where it's like, I'm here because I know how hard this shit is, and I'm willing to work hard. But I don't think people understand, these people who are like, comics broke me, were like given the keys to the palace, the keys to the
Yeah.
kingdom, what it is like to deal with paper shortages. Like, there's watercolor paper I've been using since I was in college, which is to say 1998 was when I graduated, that was discontinued by the company because they couldn't afford to make it, or supply shortages and expense on this
Wow.
high-end Strathmore watercolor paper. That's the world we're in. So when I look over there, actually, I'm going to grab it. Hang on a sec. I'm going to leave myself on 40%, Zed. It's great to see you, brother. When I look at, see if I can grab this here,
Mhm.
and I can't even imagine what's involved in this, dude. But when I look at the Heather Swain figure, man, because you know this shit too. Do you guys have?
Mhm.
And I mean, I know you do. It's a rhetorical question. How hard it is to actually get a well painted, well sculpted female face on an action figure? It's a nightmare to get something of this quality. It must cost a fortune. Do you know what I mean? Like, the
Yeah.
amount of hard work and we're not even talking about the package design. Like, this is like on the level of, like, NECA and McFarlane Toys and all that shit. About the only company this isn't on the level of, because there's no, like, and I don't even know if it's for everybody. Like, NECA is personally my favorite toy company because of the Ninja Turtle shit and all that other stuff they're doing. But Mezco is the only company, because they're doing, like, cloth goods sewn shit. But
Yeah.
that's not for everybody. this is some of the best shit ever. Good night, Phil. Have a great one, brother.
Good night.
Haven't caught a live show in a while. I know I've been streaming at crazy ass times, man. Yeah, a lot of paper isn't made anymore because of now illegal chemical treatment. Oh, that's interesting. But it's like, yeah, surely Todd is paying attention. Oh yeah, I'm sure he is too, man. Yeah, Todd has done some really cool shit, but I think these figures, a female figure is one of the hardest things to do, whether you're drawing or anything else. I mean, look at the frog on the belt buckle. That is freaking quality, man. There it is. That is quality, and the chicken fry logo on the shirt. The paint apps are great. And I mean, I got a figure that is from some Chinese company and it's a total, and you may have seen this stuff. They're kind of bootlegging the Ninja Turtles. It's really fucking hilarious, but they're great figures. And they sell them as samurai with extra heads. And they're smaller figures, but they've got like these tiny little freaking nostrils on the face. They're really well designed and cool figures. But what you see, Jay Lee, take care of my friend. Okay, everyone, got to head out. But if you have not backed the Steins, please do. We are funded, but would love to do it in color, guys. On Fund My Comic, there is the link, man. Guys, check that out. But I mean, I just think that there's so much cool stuff that's possible right now, and so much stuff like Lovecraft in the public domain and things like that. But people need to just bring their A game. We've got a great Western comic. We've got the Rippaverse. We've got everything Ethan's doing. We've got everything John's doing. We've got Godlike. We've seen some crazy stuff coming together, man. And it's great. Dan, have a great night. Glad to hear your voice. Stay strong. I love it.
Thank you, friend.
There you go. And Goblin Girl is going to be freaking epic and amazing. And people here wait for the quality, and they know that it's a David and Goliath situation with us, man.
Billy is really working hard. I know everybody's some people are a little upset with him, but like he's really delivering some high-end quality color work on the book. I mean, it's not just quick digital coloring. He's painting panels like digitally, and it's a lot of work.
Dude, yeah, believe me, I know that one. It's the same thing when I'm working on Spring Ball or anything else, and it's the same thing. Like, I get into these situations and I think coloring, as you know, is like, it's such a freaking, it's so crazy to bring the color dimension into it, Yes, yeah, absolutely. Billy B, as I call him, Billy the Kid. Yeah. It's the same thing where it's like I was having so much trouble figuring out the interchange of colors that I wanted right here in this space. These kind of like this orange green. What's up, Metal Movies and Brewskis? It's great to see you, brother. How are you doing? It's one of those things like where it's so important to do, and it's like when I was crunching on Nosferatu, I got so burnt out and I just needed to recharge. My wife goes, "You need a vacation." And I wasn't streaming for like a month, man. And I was very erratic. And it's like one of those things that I said is I go, until like I've been streaming and back for a little bit, everybody who was a channel member during that time, I'm going to leave all the channel members I have, unless I get a new one, in the credits I play at the end of my streams, because they earned it. And I wanted to give them a shout out for backing me, man, because I freaking appreciate it, And it's like all this shit, we're spinning plates. It's like, what's important for you to be doing right now is focusing on the freaking chemo, getting that shit sorted. And also it's an endurance test, man. The body heals how it heals.
It is, dude.
You can't rush it. You can't will it.
The weird thing is the stacking thing that it's doing.
Yeah.
Which I didn't even, it's like things you don't know about until you're doing it, or somebody's gone through it. And it's crazy. Like I was kind of like, I feel sick for a couple weeks, and then I have this 1 week off where I start feeling better again, and then I start the thing again, and it's like, no, now it's just like all the time. There's no week off.
Well, dude, it's like a buddy of mine told me that he's like, oh, my wife is having this thing, since she's been pregnant, and it was this like crazy thing. And I said, dude, let me tell you something, man. I said, my wife was pregnant just very recently. If a man called me up and said, "Hey, my wife's got this weird pregnancy thing that I've never heard of, where she grew a meatloaf on her back," I'd believe it. Because like fucking like there's nothing I won't believe anymore. It's like you learn about all kinds of shit. Whenever you get thrown into the medical swimming pool of something, it's crazy. Plus, Shant, you said you have friends having a hard time, can stress you out to no end. Yeah, absolutely, man. Oh yeah, you had friends having a hard time. Yeah, it's true, man. Yeah, there's family members and there's people you got to take care of. I think the biggest thing is when you are a hardcore introvert, and John is right about that you can't use it as a total excuse. You got to get out there and do things, but you also got to make sure that, well, the more demands you have on you, the more you got to recharge. So I was still streaming on places and things like that. I was trying to, still be out there and do stuff, but I know that how important it is to get the book right. And I needed to be fully focused on that. So yeah, John, you're right. And I was just talking to people who need me today. And I always will send out messages to people if someone's having a tough go or things, and nobody's required to ever respond. It's just to say, "Hey, I'm there, man." It's like if you need to talk, you're going through a tough time, just give me a shout. Because I think it's nice in some cases for people that I know and who I'm close to have that option to not call, but just to know the lines are open. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's the shit that kind of matters.
That's what Frege said to me
even
when
if
I talked to him recently.
Yeah, right. It's like, because sometimes you don't want to fucking talk to people, but sometimes it's nice to know that they're open to it if you did.
Well, it's also like in my situation, like I bring up like for instance, I was like, oh, I had to take some chemo real quick. It's like, should you say that? Does that just sound like you're just going, "Hey, everybody, I'm sick. Look at little Timmy."
I don't know, man. I think the thing you said that was like really like you do say shit that's like kind of a cry for help, like when you talked about painting miniatures. But I think other people look the other way. They're good people here. No one's judging.
Great.
People are like, "Oh man, is he just saying he's painting miniatures so we'll feel sorry for him?" No. Dude,
I'm doing it so I don't go insane.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, like this is the thing, man. People just gotta be, and like it's why I hate politics so much. When I say politics, I mean like all forms, but the most basic is inter-office politics. Sometimes people need to just fucking talk and not think about how what they're saying is coming off. You know what I mean? It's just like you cannot control what people are gonna fucking misconstrue. You know what I mean? Yeah. So just like I always say this, man, it's like I was on a stream with Chokeout before, and John was like, Chokeout, not even saying anything, and he was like, "I was taking a shit." Gotta love it, man. It wasn't for effect. It was just, this is what's going on. And it just cracked me the fuck up. Thank you,
This is
John.
the reality of my moment.
Yeah, man. It's like, it just is. It's like, I mean, I have friends who are kind of like going, "Oh, fuck, remind me, remind me before I eat, I got to take my insulin shot," or whatever the fuck it is, with diabetes. And I haven't mastered that shit. I just know when my folks got it, Yeah, I love this. Try to complain too much. Others have it much worse than I do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I try not to complain too much. Others have it much worse. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people like that, Simply Green, and I totally understand. Did someone say painting miniatures from the 41st millennium? That's right, man. Got miniature folks in here. Yeah, awesome. Be an honest listener. Yeah, right on, guys. You guys know. Yeah, that's what it's about, man. And it's I feel very fortunate that we kind of like you just for all the people I've met and whose lives I've been thrown into. I remember watching John and Ethan and all of those guys stream. And I remember the first time I was on one of those streams, it felt so meta because I felt like I should just be sitting back watching it. And I still feel, that way on some level.
Yeah.
But it's like the bigger thing is always, to build our own channels and to build the stuff that we're doing. And I think you got to just like, we're just consistent. And, it's one of those things, I don't know how to describe it, but it's like everybody has periods where they're going through some really, crazy and intense shit. I remember when Ethan was like full, I will never forget it because I showed it to my wife and I was like, "Honey, look at what they're doing to this guy. Like they're making his life a living hell. Every time he tries to do something, they're trying to fuck it up at every turn." And she was just, we were both disgusted by it. But I think we're fortunate to be in a place right now where Comicsgate and the indie space too, again, Razor Fist, everybody who's coming out, Rippaverse and Iron Age shit. It's like that we're in a place where it's just taken for granted that we've got books and action figures that have been produced and are here and physical, and that we have more than just a handful of creators building channels and doing shit and people collaborating, like you said, with the piece that's being used as a cover that you did for Malin.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful shit that I always say, that whatever else is going on in the world and all the silliness, that's the shit that I hold on to, and I just go, man, this is a great place to be. It's crazy. Oh, Metal Movies and Bruce Keys, it all hurt me. It all hurt me, man. I was like, this. I can't even talk about it, but it kills me. Yeah, here's the thing, man. I'm like, this shit was pitched to me as a Dracula adaptation of A Trip on a Ship. There's your alliteration for the day, kids. And
What?
I said, being silly, but this movie, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, and I saw it and I was like going, it was so frustratingly woke against the book.
Really?
Just it was painful, man. It killed me.
I didn't even notice.
It killed me.
I watched it and I didn't have any problems with wokeness with it.
Oh my god. Are you telling me the historically inaccurate Black Doctor didn't hit you over the head?
I don't know. Like that, I just kind of glazed over because it's just kind of...
Yeah, I can't. You know what it is? I can't. As a fan of the book, and a fan of Dracula, I'm like, 1, crosses have to work on Dracula. 2, sunlight doesn't. Like, there was so much shit that drove me crazy. But the part where he's like, I'm not really good at guns, and she's like, and it was like Ripley from Aliens. I was like, guys, you're killing me. I've already got to deal with the fact that the Spaniard in Gladiator is like, my name is Maximus Decimus. I don't think that's a Spanish accent, friends. But I can let a certain amount of stuff go. But the fact that the first Cambridge graduate who was a divinity student, around that time, was there was a very rare thing. They were dropping all these specifics that I really didn't need to know, and an American doing a British accent on top of that. I was just like, oh, it killed me. But, I that movie just irked me in a deep, deep way, Dan. I have anger issues about it, and I'm going to work through them. It drove me nuts. But yeah. And some of the CGI, but it's like, here's the thing. It's one of those, it's a premise that had so much potential to be great. And it's like this, how do I word it? It's like when Eggers did The Northman, and he changed the ending of the story of this classic myth, which I wouldn't have even known if I didn't go, wait a second. This seems unlikely for this time period, and they were just pitching this as a true adaptation. If The Last Voyage of the Demeter had been, you leave Gladiator alone. Look, I love that movie. Deal with it. I love it, but we got to be honest, man. Got to be honest.
Leave it alone.
Shit, just for fucking hell, the last performance of Oliver Reed in that is great, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, right? Here's a perfect example. When I saw Gladiator, I never once questioned Djimon Hounsou in that movie. Not once. He was perfect. Do you know what I mean? It worked with the aesthetic. It was great. If they had said, if this was a reimagining of the story, I would have been like, fine. Which I could tell from the trailer it was going to be. But it was the fact that they kept talking about how it was they take this chapter and now we're really bringing it to life based on, these notes. And I just, it was too current, I love Werner Herzog's Nosferatu the Vampire.
Yeah.
I even love the Underworld movies, Dan. Blade is one of my favorite movies of all time. Shit, my kid, shocker, she likes the Twilight movies, right? I've got no problem with whenever people do that kind of stuff, but it's when people depart from it, I want to see something like Shadow of the Bat. You know what I mean? With Willem Dafoe and you know what I mean? And I just felt like it was a bait and switch. But I knew from the trailer. I was like going, like, can you imagine, like, if I saw an Indian doctor on that ship, and he was like, well, let's take a look and see what I'd be like, dude, what are you doing? You're too modern. It's like it would have just, it would have raised, like, if it was, a Romani character, or if it was, frankly, a character from anywhere else who was traveling, worked on ships, and happened to be on this ship. It was the Cambridge doctor that killed me. That was the one that I just went, no. It was Will Smith in Wild Wild West. I'm like, definitely could be a cowboy. Definitely could be all of these many things. But this is a big ask. You know what I mean? For that time in this setting, I just was like, like we're not going to get into Mechanical Spider. Like, look, that movie had way more problems than that. That movie did as well as it did because of Will Smith. But
that movie,
I'd have loved to
like
have seen a star in that role if they were going to make a big change. But
that movie is a guilty pleasure. I enjoy watching that movie.
Wild Wild West?
Yeah, like it's
it's fine. I accept that. Like, it doesn't matter whether I accept it or not, because I don't believe in people having to accept other people's interests. Like, if someone says to me, man, hey, I love this shit, like, this is my thing, I'm like, cool.
I wouldn't say I love it. That's a strong word, but but it's
I think you do love it now, and now you're just back. But no,
I enjoy putting it on every once in a while, watching it. But
yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, for me, the Cambridge Doctor was a bigger ask than the vampires. Well, and metal movies and brewskis, I will say this: if anybody loves any film, cool. Oddly, my brain doesn't explode when Ethan was saying he liked the Barbie movie because, one, I haven't seen it, nor am I going to ever see it. Two,
so
it's nothing to me.
I'm gonna have to admit something. I
What's
watched that movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it was that bad.
And look at how I'm still alive.
I didn't think it was great either, though. But like everything Ethan said about it was true. Like, I was very surprised what it was when I saw it.
Yep.
I mean, there was some stuff at the end that didn't resonate with me, obviously, because I felt like it was very written for women to understand.
Yep.
But overall, like some of the shit that they did in there, I was just like, oh my god, I can't believe the studio, or not the studio, but the toy company let them get away with doing some of the stuff they were doing. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, and here's the craziest thing about it, right? Is that this is so funny because Antoine Dunstan saying, for me, the Cambridge Doctor was a bigger ask than the vampires. And I keep coming back to there is a sweet spot that you have to occupy when you're trying to entertain an audience with vampires. And I'm sorry to say this, but that people do not seem to grasp this, but all villains in Star Wars movies are white British people. Don't know why. I want to see, frankly, all manner of vampires when we get into Blade, Underworld, all of that shit. It's just, I think of Blade 2, Blade 1, the Underworld movies. Like, it never dawns on me. None of that shit ever affects me. Shit, I even own and like Blackula, for God's sake, the worst titled movie in history. The most exploitative title for a very fucking interesting movie. But I actually wouldn't mind seeing a movie where you had an actor, like a Usual Suspects / Alien on a boat. That's all I wanted to see, man. Yeah. And it's crazy. American Revolution reference. There you go. The gas cylinder was to flip the chariot. Yep, absolutely. That movie. Gladiator's a great flick. I could watch that all day long. Master and Commander is another great flick as well.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I believe the case of misperformed files. The original voice actors are still there. The mod restored them. Banned. Let's see. Oh, that's interesting. It's seeming was based of what Marumi said. Oh, okay, gotcha what you're saying. I did like how Drac was a monster. I loved that. I didn't like that his teeth looked like a freaking Venus flytrap. That drove me crazy. And yeah, I mean, it's such a funny thing because to me, it's such a taste thing. Like, I love Nosferatu and I love Dracula. I think Francis Ford Coppola's Bram Stoker's Dracula worked as sort of a Hammer pulp kind of thing with a little bit of an artistic kind of interesting flair to it. But I still think that for my money, the Universal Dracula and also the Universal, the Spanish version they shot at the same time. Have you ever seen that? Holy shit, is that good? The only thing missing is a Dracula with more gravitas. I think it would bury the American version if they had had an actor who could really, it's something like, soy Dracula, didn't really work. Yeah. It's like, if you'd said, soy Dracula, like I needed something there, but it's crazy. I just added a nifty book progress section to my campaign page. Awesome. The Lucent Comics Products New Lucent Book Bundle. Check it out, guys. Nice. It was based on what Romy said. I did like Dracula. Yeah, I listen. I've got somewhere around here. Or actually, it's probably over there. I've got my Mezco Nosferatu. I've got Dracula figures all over here. I've got my Wesley Snipes Blade figure, which I bought a custom head from Hong Kong. So that actually, I got to show it. I can't just say that. I ordered a custom Wesley Snipes head from Hong Kong so that my Mezco blade would be accurate to Snipes, because there is only one Daywalker, and that is Mr. Snipes. Deal with it, people. And so I just like being transported when I see these flicks. And Dracula is not easy, but I remember Eiko Ishioka's armor design. Remember, for the Dracula armor? It's so iconic.
It's been fucking
there's cool
reused
shit
by other people in other films. It's crazy.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, it's such a great design. And like I said, I think this movie could have been really great. Yeah, I hope that Eggers Nosferatu is good. I'm a little nervous about it because, let me say, The Lighthouse.
Yeah, that movie's exactly.
Yeah, it's like getting high on your own supply level is the best way I can put it. The Northman changed the ending to this completely opposite of what the point of the story was, which was he lives. There's not some, and then he dies, and his twin daughter becomes the female king. All bullshit, totally made up. There was no feminist sort of messaging in the actual story that they were supposedly being true to. If they had just made that shit up, I'd have been fine. Again, same problem. But The Witch is a masterpiece. The Witch is a straight up masterpiece. I've heard people say, oh, it's feminist. Oh, it's this. I don't give a fuck. It's just a great movie. You know what I mean? Like, I could give a shit. Like, people talk about Mad Max Fury Road. It's got a feminist. I could give a shit. It's a great movie. Like, politics, to me, is only a problem when the story sucks. Again,
the other
on
thing,
the Spaniard.
The thing I would say about the Mad Max Fury Road thing is like, I remember everybody was complaining like, oh, Mad Max is a fucking pussy and all that stuff. I was like, was he? I was like, I feel like I watched a different movie than everybody else, because the only reason why they made it through was because of Max. He kept doing all the heavy lifting and fixing all the shit they were fucking up. So
and he also kicked her ass, which was where I was waiting to see me laugh at the movie and say, listen, man, the average dude ain't going to take out Tom Hardy in this fucking movie. If she takes him down, then that's effing embarrassing. Then you're, again, that's another, don't ask the audience for any more than this post-apocalyptic wasteland is already demanding. And they also had an interesting thing, which was the all-male society had its many, many issues, but then they also showed that the all-female society had also collapsed, and it was about people getting together, which I thought was great.
Yeah.
And there was some beautiful, beautiful shit in that movie. And I got the black and chrome edition, which is beautiful. And, I love that movie to bits, but I've never cared for people's politics or anything unless they completely kill my suspension of disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
And that movie, like, I just was saying, to myself, I go, shit, if you had a black Cambridge graduate doctor in almost any other time,
oh my God,
it might have been fine. You know what I mean? But it was like, It was the fact that they're doing it now where we're so or at least for me, I'm as an audience member, I'm like, you really don't want to tell a story about Dracula. You want to tell a story about this dude. And again, it's like, to me, it'd be like seeing a Blade movie where I can't believe I just said that. It's like Blade 3, where Blade was a side character in his own fucking movie. It's like that. They were like, Snipes is being difficult because they wanted to promote Ryan Reynolds and slowly phased out Wesley Snipes in that movie. That's why he was so pissed. And it's like, come on, man. Yeah, exactly. Metal movies and Bruce Lee. Wesley is irreplaceable. The Blade remake should go full tilt 70s, big glasses. Yeah, big collar. Yeah, they honestly should, man. They should actually go. Yeah, I love The Witch. Yeah, I actually wrote a massive dissertation on one of my educational blogs about The Witch. I thought it was so good. It's brilliant. It's a brilliant film, masterpiece. Let's see here. Yeah, let's see. Sorry, go ahead.
Never seen it.
Oh, dude, it's a masterpiece. It's great. You know, and you're right. It is 420 Finatra. It absolutely is, man. Holy cow. Yeah, the all-female society is a utopia where women have... Yeah, exactly. Finatra. Where women have everything and men live somewhere on the street until needed. Yeah. Well, actually, that's what they did. That swampy place with the people on stilts was a little bit dark. So just as they were milking the women in the male society, a similar thing was supposedly going to be shown in that movie, which is where the more women came from. And they were the exiled boys that were living out in those swamps on those stilts, which they never really got into, which I thought was fabulously dark and an interesting commentary. And so I look at this kind of stuff and I go, let's just make great shit. Quality is going to win out in the end. You know, quality is going to win out. Like Goblin Girl. When I look at Goblin Girl, I'm just looking to have an aesthetic experience.
Yeah. Well,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
100%.
Like it's not, and I will say I have seen movies that are political that, by God, they're great. You know what I mean? Like, because that's not what makes them great. You know, like the inner workings of Rome and Gladiator. But I mean, you could go to you could go to any movie where you've got some kind of messaging, and if it's a great movie and it's not heavy-handed, it'll work. I just think it's the artistry at the end of the day. You know, to help people escape with their escapism. You know, and thank you guys for hanging out. It's 4:22. I've got to wrap up because I got to get up in a couple hours. Go. Got work to do. It's craziness. But Dan, thank you for coming in here, brother.
Thank you for
it's
allowing
great
me to
having you in here, dude. Of course. And Dan, where can people find you on the internet?
Gosh, they can find me on the X or post Twitter, Boob Dan Art. They can find me on Instagram, same handle. And then please sign up for my YouTube channel. If you're not, I will be. I should be putting new videos up there soon, and maybe doing some live streaming.
Holy shit, man!
Now that I got some stuff back going on.
I'm so excited, guys. If you're not subscribed to Dan's YouTube channel, please do subscribe to it. And let me just say, we got to share this because late breaking news via Jeremy Burtz, because we have tipped over on Battle Brick Road. So let me call that up, because that is a great way to wrap this up, man. You guys are legendary. Let's see if I'm smart enough to share screen. Oh, I know those little. Sorry, I saw stuff in the background that I know way too well, man. Hold on a second. Let me come back here and make you big here. Hold on. Boom. Beautiful, dude. Great work. Looking killer. Thanks, Jonathan Boob Dan in chat. Yeah, absolutely. Bow indeed. Love the Conan vibes. Yes, the drawer fight sport. Yes. You're so right. Dude, that's beautiful, dude. I love this game, and I love those miniatures, man.
Laying down the levels.
That's right, man. That's right. That's how you do it. And here we go. Battle Brick Road has hit 18,322, 301 backers. And yeah, people are loving it, man. Badass. So let me play a cheerleader here, and then we will do the charge. Yep, AdWords. Yeah, that's right. Start a stream. Yeah, Mike, you start a stream. It's better timing where you're at, brother. But thank you guys for being here. Much love to everyone. I'm going to play the credits, man. And Dan, you take care and you have a great night, man.
I will, sir.
You have a great night, brother. Talk to you soon, brother. Take care, guys. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. Take care.